Hey guys, and welcome back to the Boundary Riders pod. Found it. Alright, there we go. How are we doing, guys? Today we're here to watch a pretty big game. Brisbane versus Geelong. Obviously the Port Adelaide Collingwood game's probably been the most touted game of this round, obviously being 1v2, but this game's pretty big as well. Both these teams fighting for top four, really. Geelong are, at the moment, just outside the 8 by about 6 points on Melbourne. If they win today, though, they can be right within them, within 2 points just before their game tomorrow. So a big game for both clubs. Brisbane, if they can win today, they get themselves back on track to get to that top 2 position. And if they can still fight for it with that game tonight. But the game is just about to get underway in Brisbane at the Gabba. Umpire bounces it down and the game has begun. Stanley wins it down nicely, but only as far as Neil, and gets it off to Dunkley, who's back in this week. Sends a high ball out just outside the centre square and a great intercept mark from who else but Tom Stewart. He works it back just into defensive 50, finds Mitch Duncan. It's a big game for both clubs today. Duncan just works it in short. And he finds Isaac Smith, so a couple of the old firm getting a few early touches here for the Cats. Smith plays on, just walks into the centre square, then bombs a long ball towards forward 50. Stanley in a one-on-one, McInerney from behind did well to spoil it away. Dunkley just gets it away out to Wilmot, and his ill-directed kick works well though. Rayner gives it off to Zorko. He kicks a long ball inside the forward 50, 2-on-3. Numbers aren't with the Lions. Gets out the front though. Now Charlie Cameron snaps on the left boot. All Geelong back here and takes the mark. So last line, Isaac Smith takes the mark, works it short and finds Zach Guthrie, who's got Holmes on a little lead, and he finds him as well. So now Holmes works it in short and he finds Duncan again. He works it inside Duncan, very dangerous kick, and gets a cut off. Dunkley does well. Gives it off to Wilmot, who takes a step. He gets to 50, chancing for the first goal of the game. Wilmot kicks it across the face, and he kicks it through from behind. So first score of the afternoon goes the Lions' way. So easy game for the Cats last week. Did very well against the Bombers. Obviously won that game pretty early as that game was done about quarter time. Lions had a 26-point lead against the Demons last week in the last quarter and lost it from there. So they want to bounce back from that poor performance. Blitzars works it in short to Smith. So about centre-half back position now the Cats. Smith plays on. He's got Zorko close, but he just gets the kick away. Drives the ball towards 50. Close did well. Taps it forward. Stengel gets out the handle at the back to Duncan. And now Cameron has the football, works the ball inside. Good kick, Dangerfield, strong hands. Probably a little bit too far out to score for Dangerfield, but he does look pretty confident at the moment. He's lining up. And a chance here for the captain. Paddy Dangerfield, appointed as captain this season. Age 33. He's had a pretty good year, a little bit injury-ridden. He works it in short, though, finds Holmes. Not that much closer to goal, but Blitzars has a chance here. From 50, Blitzars drives it towards goal. It'll be on the line. Harris Andrews does nicely to spoil it away. Bounces inside the defensive 50 a few times, then McCluggage picks it up. So now on the counter, you go the Lions. McCluggage's kick was terrible, though. Henry cuts it off, and he's got a couple of options. Kick comes off the side of his boot. A little bit of a grubby game early. Ollie Henry just socks it off the ground. He saw Tui have a little bit of space. Didn't have the right foot to go to, so he works it back to Henry, who takes a step, dribbles it inside the forward 50, but it's cut off. And now Wilmot with the turnover. In short, can't find Danaher. Good spoil from behind. Now Cameron on the right boot turns it over again. And then Fletcher takes the mark. So a couple of mistakes early from both sides. So now Andrews works it to McKenna. Still in the defensive 50 here, the Lions. Now Zorko kicks it down the wing. It's a good kick. And now they can go here, Neil over the top towards 50. Cameron does nicely. He's got a player on his own inside the forward 50. He calls Hipwood to lead at him and then kicks it over his head. Hipwood did well. Probably should have got the free kick, and he does. Wasn't the best play there from Hipwood. He was calling for it long. Cameron called him to lead up and then he kicked it on his head. But Hipwood did well and he got a free kick for his troubles. So now Eric Hipwood. Tough angle for him here. Tucked up against the boundary line. On the good side, though, for a left footer. So he's looking inside. But a chance here to get his first. So Eric Hipwood, 26 goals, 10 from set shots this year. He's been very good in front of goal. He comes in. Looks pretty nice, Eric Hipwood. Umpire does not move. And that's a great start for the Lions. Great finish from Hipwood. The Lions get the first goal of the game. It was just Jack Henry there. Just couldn't get back in time. And then just chopped the arms of Hipwood, which got him the free kick. And a great finish from a really tough angle there for Eric Hipwood. So a great start here for the Lions. Obviously are the favourites today, but the Cats need this win as well to keep in touch with that top four. If they lose this one, the Cats, they probably miss out on a top four chance. So back in the middle we are. They'll be going at it all day, Stanley and McInerney. Bounce goes down. McInerney gets it down. Coming through McCluggage, who was like a steam train. Did nicely. Now gathers it and kicks it towards forward 50. Going back with Stewart. Great play there from Gunston. Free kick's been called though. And it will go to Jack Gunston. He goes inside, quickly inside the forward 50 and finds Charlie Cameron on the lead. Quick football there from the Lions. Cats caught a little bit off guard. So Gunston's got back into form in the past few weeks. Had that mini pre-season, and it looks like it's worked wonders for him. It was a great kick inside the forward 50 there from Jack Gunston. He did everything, couldn't do anything there to Charlie Cameron to miss that one. It was a great kick. And now Charlie, got about a 45, 50 degree angle. He'll kick on 50, he drives it towards goal. It's going out to the left. Up goes Danaher though. Couldn't get it out to Koning, and then eventually dribbled over the line for a behind. Taking the kick in here is Bose. He drives a long ball on the outer wing here. Huge pack of players go up, gets the support away. Tui in front. Good tackle there from Fletcher. Tucked the arm, then drawn him down. He just got the hands free though. Myers works the kick inside. It's just out of the reach of Isaac Smith. Now Berry gave the handball. Well done. And now Salskovich kicks it inside the forward 50. Danaher almost a push against him. It gets out the back though to Charlie Cameron, who tries to burn off his opponent. Great pressure there from Kolajasny. McCarthy off the ground. Can't get it to Cameron. Then Kolajasny working really hard. McCarthy looking for the free kick. Didn't get it. And now Henry gets the clear and kick out of defensive 50. But it could be coming back. Smith against Starskovich. Smith did really well. Against three. Got the kick away. Did nicely. And now they get it out wide through Henry to Stengel. And now we got it out wide through Holmes. Cats just working through hands a little. Atkins' kick was not the best, but actually will work out. Myers goes inside to Bruin. They go through hands here, the Cats. Blitzars. Bose. He can run to 50 here. He can run to 40. He can kick the goal in for the Cats. Oh, he's at the post. Bose should have really nailed that. He did really well to get free. It was a really good team play, but they just couldn't finish on the last moment. So Fletcher had a few touches early, works it in short, finds Ashcroft. So we didn't have too many options, Ashcroft, so he's just going to drive a long ball down the wing. Stewart probably got pushed out of it, and he gets the free kick for his troubles. Hipwood not impressed by it, but the free kick was paid. So Stewart immediately looks inside. He goes in short and finds Atkins. Wasn't 15 though. He's been very good in the past month or so, Tom Atkins. The kick wasn't the best. Gunston cuts it off. And now they're on the turnover. Here go the Lions. McCluggage just can't grab the ball there. Bruin did well. Put on a lot of pressure. Zorko couldn't get the free kick. Neal almost dragged it in. Trying to kick it off the ground with Zorko. It'll be a ball up. Zorko pushing and shoving. Another ball up here in the middle of the ground. McInerney tries to get it forward. Stanley did okay. Free kick's been ripped out. It will go to Lachie Neale. He plays on. Just kicks it inside the forward 50. On the head, though, of McCarthy. And does well there, Stewart. So Tom Stewart takes the mark. He's already taken 2 intercepts so far. Kicks it in short. He finds Guthrie. And now the Cats on the outer side do well. De Koning takes the mark. Back in his true position of half-back. It's not a good kick, though. Bose gets under a lot of pressure now. In the middle of the ground, Guthrie step McCluggage with ease. And now he kicks the higher ball towards half-forward. 2-on-2. Starcevich got in front and left the ball behind. But Wilmot did nicely. Kicks the ball in the middle of the ground. Guthrie did well again. Gives it off to Henry, who gets Kellett. Well there from McCluggage. Gets the handball away somehow. And now the Cats can go through Bruin, but Atkins left the ball behind. Ashcroft stronger over the footy. Just gets the kick away. Now inside the forward 50. Hipwood just out of his reach. Stewart did well. Gets the handball towards Henry. McCarthy puts it on a lot of pressure. And now Cameron taps it forward. Play on's the call. Bose actually does pretty well to keep it towards the boundary. Cameron overran it. Now off the ground was Lockie Neal in the defensive goal square. De Koning has some time. And he works the ball out wide. And the Cats can take a breath here through Myers. Bit of a hot start, this one. For the scoreline of only one goal, it's been a pretty hot start. So now Myers, with his awkward-looking kicking routine, wasn't the best kick. Cut off well from Leicester. And now here go the Lions. Coleman gets dragged down as he kicked it, so he didn't get another distance on the kick. And cut off nicely from Kolajasny. So now Guthrie. The Cats can go on the outer side once again. They're trying to use this outer side, trying to switch the play. Close comes up on the lead and takes the mark. Right on centre wing right now. Goes in short, finds Dangerfield, immediately goes. Almost caught there by McInerney, but gets the kick long. Out the back was Henry, couldn't take the mark. But a free kick's been ripped out here. And it's going to come back to Dangerfield, so it's just in the back. This helps the Lions, though. There's going to be a kick inside the forward 50 to the ground, but the push against McInerney brings it right back to the wing here for Paddy Dangerfield. So now Dangerfield, calling for players to lead, eventually goes into the pocket. Coleman does nicely, should have taken the mark though. Does well with the tackle on Ollie Henry, and it'll be another ball up inside the forward 50 here for the Cats. So Tom Hawkins looks like he's going to take the ruck here, up against McInerney. So the Cats haven't been really up in their forward 50 so far in this one. Hawkins taps it towards the boundary line. Myers did well. Steps nicely on Berry. Couldn't step Neal though. Just got the kick away. Now Bruin bursts through. And now in the pocket, Tom Hawkins could roll it through. Oh, it just goes on the outer side of the post and rolls through for a behind. That would have been a big goal there from Tommy Hawkins. Wouldn't have had many better ones if he got that one through. That's saying something from a guy who's been playing this game for over 10 years. Has been a star throughout most of it. Ashcroft gives it back to McKenna, who kicks the ball. It's a dangerous kick, cuts it off there, Cameron. That 55 out from goal. On the run, you give him a bit of a chance, but at the standing start, I think he's going to look for an option in short. Although he doesn't have many options to go to. Players are setting up about 45 out. He goes in short, cut off there from Fletcher, but he left it behind. Good tackle there from Myers, and there'll be another stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Cats. So back in the ruck contest, McInerney wins it down. Myers tries to break the tackle and got the hands free to Holmes. And now Dangerfield snaps towards goal. It'll be in the goal square. And a great mark there from Payne going back. He's been brilliant this year, Jack Payne. He's been that lockdown defender. He's taken over from Harris Andrews, allowing him to play a lot more of that intercept role. And he's been absolutely brilliant, Payne. So now Berry works in short to McCluggage. It was a great kick. Into Neal. Neal went to play on, and then Tom Hawkins probably should have given away 50 there, wasn't paid. He works it out wide now. Fletcher had a few touches early, Jasper Fletcher. The kick again was poor though. Holmes cuts it off. So now Holmes is short, a bad handball. Atkins immediately under the pressure. Handballs it inside. Here go the Lions. Rayner worried out of it though by Stewart. He just gets a tap away. And now Dunkley met well there from Holmes. It'll be a stoppage. So a hot and sloppy start to this game from two contenders this year. Spikes it forward there with McInerney. It gets it onto Bruin. He gets immediately met by a couple of Lions. Now Tui working hard, works it out wide. Archie chasing him down. Just left the tackle behind though. Tui did nicely. Now he kicks the ball long down the wing. Up goes close. Went a bit early, then left it behind. Andrews in short. That wasn't 15 to Berry, but it was paid. So now Berry on the wing here for the Lions. Both teams just feeling each other out at this stage. Berry has the football. And he drives a long ball towards the forward 50. Danaher Went up, didn't really get the launch he wanted. Now Ashcroft from 50, a big snap. The bounce will matter. It hits the ground and goes through for a behind. So now Stewart take the kick in. He's had a few touches early. Tom Stewart works a long ball out wide. That was a good 60-metre kick. And Duncan looked like he had it all day long. Good mark. Now Duncan plays on. Long ball out wide. Harris Andrews comes to cut it off, as he's been doing for a lot of this season. He low ball inside. Good kick. Finds Dunkley. In fact, no, it's Rayner. So now Cam Rayner has a chance now, goes inside the forward 50, 2-on-2 here. McCarthy doesn't go up. Stewart goes for the spoil, and it will get out of bounds. McCarthy's got to do better than that. Looks like he's got a little bit more of a lockdown role on Stewart today. And now it's just too easy to let Stewart go up for it. He's already taken 2 intercept marks. And teams who have been able to shut down Tom Stewart this season have usually gone on to do very well throughout the game. We've seen Port Adelaide do it a few times. In the ruck. Danaher takes it straight out of there. Tackled well from Stanley. Gets the kick away. Goes inside the goal square. Henry does nicely. Has a little bit of pressure on him. Gives it back to Taccone, who sends a high ball. Still inside their forward 50 of the Lions. Dunkley couldn't mark it. Blitzer spoils it away, but only as far as Berry, who works the ball in short on the left boot. Great kick. And finds Jack Gunston on the lead. That was a great kick from Jared Berry. On the left boot. Just found a 15-metre little dart and found Jack Gunston in the pocket. So their first goal for the Lions was tucked up in the pocket for Eric Hipwood. This would be a great finish from Jack Gunston, who's finally found some form in this Lions outfit. He snaps around the body. He's cooked it a little bit too much there, Gunston, and goes through for another behind. Sends a long ball out wide of the Cats. Starskovich almost took the mark. Tackled well there from Smith and Cameron. Will be another stoppage. He pulls it up now, the umpire. Stanley gets a little ruck down. Myers couldn't gather it. Now Neal almost threw that out. Play on. Ashcroft back to McKenna. And now he handled 20 metres in front of him to a standing still McCarthy, but did well. Archie tries to break the tackle of Bosen, does. And now McKenna gets it off the side of the boot. That's a shocking snap at goal. And it goes 20 metres into the grandstands. Terrible kick from Connor McKenna out on the full. How you doing, JJ? What are you up to tonight? So now Tom Stewart takes the kick, goes in short, and he finds Mark O'Connor. I think it's his first touch, O'Connor. Hardly seen it so far. Who do you want to win? Because I barrack for Sydney, I want Brisbane to win this to give us a chance for finals, but I don't think it really matters. Great tackle there from Rayner on Kolajasny. Just got the handball away. Now Atkins coming through, left it behind. Dangerfield, almost legged, just gets the hands free. And now Duncan, 20-metre handball, finds Isaac Smith on the run. That was a great handball. The kick from Smith wasn't so good. Couldn't gather it though on the bounce. There was Payne. Andrews gathers it, did nicely. And now Coleman works the ball inside. Great kick. And he finds Zorko. So now the Lions go through the middle of the ground. Archie, he's got an option on the outer wing, and that's where he goes now. Good kick. And now the Lions can work it inside through McCluggage. It's a great kick. Actually, no, it wasn't that good. Tom Stewart cuts it off. I go for Richmond. We won by 1 point. Yeah, I watched the end of that game, man. Very lucky in the end, Richmond, I got to say. But Hawthorn needed to keep going. That was poor. So Jeremy Cameron takes the mark on the outer wing. Now Cameron in short to Bose, who immediately goes. Good play. And now the Cats can get it inside the forward 50. Now it goes in. Long ball. Not the best kick for Stanley. McInerney gets back. He's happy to dribble it through and tap it through for a rush behind. So the Cats still yet to score a goal with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. For two very attacking teams, it's been a very low-scoring start. So now Rayner, at centre-half back, goes immediately and finds McCarthy, who keeps on going into the pocket for Gunston. It's just got too much on it and dribbles out of bounds. Big chance there for the Lions. He just had to have a little bit less heat on that ball there, McCarthy. He would have found Gunston on the lead, running back towards goal. Just too much on it. You subscribed? I appreciate that, JJ. You think the Tigers can make the finals this year? Throw in here from the umpire. McCarthy was held, play on. Danaher couldn't get the kick out of the ruck. Working hard there was Archie, couldn't get rid of it to Ashcroft, but a great tackle from Ashcroft on Duncan. And another stoppage here. So a pretty combative start to this one. Only one goal has been scored. Really surprising if you were coming into this game. Ruck thrown up, couldn't get it. Now Danaher out of the ruck, sends it towards goal. In the goal square is Gunston and Henry. And then Gunston tackles him high. You think you'll make 7? Okay. Richmond will win it all, Jay. I don't know about that. Nonetheless, here go the Cats. Long ball out to the wing. Wasn't the best option, though. Andrews did nicely. On the spoil was Wilmot. Did a nice little kick to Dunkley. The Dunkley working into this game. Gives the handball out wide to McKenna, who drills the ball into the pocket with a great kick. And he finds Archie on the lead. You'll be in and out. That's all good, JJ. I gotta, as soon as this game finishes, I'll end the stream because I want to watch the Swans game. That was a great kick going inside the forward 50 there for McKenna. About a 2 metre kick, a 2 metre height off the ground. It was just an absolute dart. And then Archie, great hands with pressure coming from the back. The chance here for the Lions to take a good lead going into quarter time. Archie comes into the pocket, kicks towards goal. He's come off the side of his boot and it scrapes through for a behind. So now Tui works the ball out wide. Kolajasny couldn't gather it. Here goes Coleman. Oh, he's a great user. Goes inside the forward 50. Great work there from Jack Henry. Causes the spoil and keeps on going. Kolajasny over the top. Great handball. And now they can work it out wide through Dangerfield. He goes to close. Good kick and he finds him. Port and Colling would be a good game. I know, man. I wish I could. I want to watch it too, but the Swans are playing and obviously I'm a Swans fan, so I'll be keeping an eye on the scores definitely. And if the Swans game goes to shit, I'll probably switch over. He works in short and finds Myers. And Myers, the kick wasn't the best and cut off well there from Lockie Neal. Lockie Neal, long kick down the wing, spoiled well there from Stewart and gets out of bounds. To be fair, this ball use from both sides hasn't been the best. Geelong's definitely been a lot worse in the first quarter. But Brisbane, I mean, they're only 8 points down, and we saw against the Swans, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They played a horrible game of footy, the Cats, but they were able to grind out a draw. Blitzar's in the ruck, taps it down, coming through nicely was Neal. Now Archie, out to McKenna. He's got a few touches in the past 10 minutes. Now to Zorko, gets dragged down there from Dangerfield. Not going to step him too often. Dangerfield pins him holding the ball. Oh, Dane Zorko's he's got his head smashed in here. There was a head clash between Dangerfield and Zorko. Immediately the blood rule is called, so both players will be off. But Zorko rolled around really quickly there. Both players will be coming off with the blood rule. They may even be checked for a head knock, for a head check here. That was a pretty solid hit from both players. Dangerfield looks okay, but Zorko immediately... Zorko coming off the ground now with that head knock. Blood streaming from just above his right eyebrow. By the way, subs are today Kai Lohman for the Lions, and the Cats is Easton Mullen. So now sends a high ball to E going out the back. Couldn't grab it. There was Cameron, and Danaher read it nicely. He takes the mark. Looks like he's been sent back just to secure up that defence in the last few minutes. He gives off the handball to McKenna. He works the kick out wide. Great kick. Finds Fletcher. So at half back... crap. Terrible kick there from Fletcher. And then just spoiled straight out of bounds there was O'Connor. Should have marked it in the end. Stanley knocks it down, coming through his Holmes, couldn't gather it. Rayner did nicely at the Danaher. Danaher sends a really short ball to Cameron, couldn't gather it on the bounce. Bose did nicely, he's had a good first quarter. and he's happy to see it out of bounds. So College Jasney looks like he's switching with Bose in this first quarter on Charlie Cameron. Yet to score a goal, but let's be honest, only one goal scorer has been made, and it was Eric Hipwood, 10, 15 minutes ago now. Been a pretty boring first quarter, if I'm being honest with you. Blitzar's nearly got it taken away from Danaher. He can't get the kick free. Fletcher met by O'Connell, being another stoppage. Danaher getting up very slowly here. A little bit of a limp up here, Joe Danaher, but he gets back into the ruck. Blitzars knocks it down, coming through with Danaher, trying to step past Blitzars. Did nicely. Then kicks it inside the forward 50. He dribbles and trickles towards the boundary line, and Hipwood's happy to see it out. So the minute to go in the first quarter. Lions lead it by 8 points. Good. Gunston smacks it forward. This will probably go out of bounds again. Holmes pushing it back almost. There'll be another stoppage just inside the forward 50 of the Lions. To be fair, the Lions need to get another goal, I think, here to show some sort of reprieve right now. Throws it in here. Blitzars knocks it down. Close couldn't gather it. McCluggage did well to step, then didn't have an option, then threw it. Holmes gets the free kick holding the ball. Great play there from the Cats. Can they get a late one here? Holmes doesn't look too worried about it. Doesn't want to move the ball too quickly. Maybe I think they just need a bit of a reset here, the Cats. They've started this game very, very a dirty game of football so far, especially from them. Cameron did well to cause a contest. Now close. Gets dragged down there from two Lions. And another stoppage on the wing. 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Umpire throws it up. Blitzars. Neither of the player in the ruck could get a tap onto it. Fletcher running after it. Couldn't grab the football. Rayner trying to break out of the close tackle. Did nicely to get the hands free. Now a late chance here for the Lions through Coleman. Sends a long ball into the pocket. He put it in a 2-on-1. I think that's on the full against Stewart. It is. So now Lincoln McCarthy. A chance here to kick a goal against the old side on quarter time. It was unlucky there against Tom Stewart. He just ran into the football and it ricocheted off his foot and went out on the full. So a chance here for Lincoln McCarthy on the siren to kick the second goal for the Lions. So now Lincoln McCarthy snaps on the left boot. He's got a bit of a bend on it. Don't tell me. Lincoln McCarthy against the former side. Nails the goal. And gets a couple of high fives from the crowd. What a finish to the first quarter. The Lions go in 2-5-17 to the Cats 3 behinds. So a great play there from Lincoln McCarthy on the siren to snap home the goal and give the Lions a 14-point lead at quarter time. I'll just bring up this to 60 now, guys, and we'll go to quarter time. Alrighty, guys. So at quarter time, we have leading disposal getter on the ground is Connor McKenna with the 10 touches. Been brilliant for the Lions so far. For 8 touches, we have Tom Stewart. 7 touches, we have to Lachie Neale and Brian Myers. And then Zach Tui rounds out the top 5 with the 6. And then for the AFL Fantasy Watchers out there, we have Max Holmes with his 36, taking top spot. And then with 33 points, and in second, third, fourth, and fifth, we have Tom Stewart, Lachie Neale, Connor McKenna, and Paddy Dangerfield. Oopsie. Doesn't matter, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, tired. Bum, bum, bum. I tip Geelong. Do you think there will be a response? Yeah, I think it will be. I don't know if they'll win the game, but it was a very poor start from the Cats. I think they'll definitely bounce back in the second quarter. How you doing anyway, Cousin? You watch West Coast get killed. Why would you bother, dude? That was a shocker. Charlie Curnow kicked, 10 goals? He's got like 19 of his goals this season against West Coast. Looks like they're trying to get the Cats off Chris Scott off the ground here. So second quarter now is underway, guys. In the middle of the ground, McInerney gets the first tap. Down to McCluggage, who's immediately met by 2 Cats. Be another stoppage. Looks like Blitzers is standing with Dunkley for a lot of the stoppages so far in this one. Wins it down there nicely with the Cats, but the Lions will get their clearance through Archie. He sends a long ball outside towards the wing on the broadcast side. Tom Stewart will get there first. Lets it bounce, though. McCarthy tries to worry him out of it. Then gets a little kick towards it. Couldn't do much. Bruin looking for the high one, and then so does Stewart. Trying to get a high free kick. Great work there from McCarthy to take him out of bounds. So Dane Zorko currently getting his back of his leg worked on. I don't know if there's any sort of hamstring issue, but he's definitely pointing towards it. Stanley wins it down straight down to Dunkley and then gives it off to Neale, who's immediately met by 2. Another stoppage. So Dunkley been a bit quiet so far. Obviously coming back after the 2-week layoff. Little win down there from McInerney. Couldn't grab it with Neale, but Dunkley did well. Just gets the hands free. McInerney dragged down from Bruin. Now Atkins threw that away. Probably should have been a free kick nonetheless. Blitzers tackled well from Neale, but does get the hands free. Now Myers leaves it behind. A lot of fumbling in the second term. Great tackle there from Dunkley on Myers. And now the Lions win the football. McCluggage sends a really high ball. It's went about 20 metres up and 4 metres forward. And for some reason, the umpire paid a mark to McInerney. That ball went 5 metres. Oh, anyway. McInerney now sends a high ball inside the forward 50. Great body from Danaher. Play on to the call. Now Tui. In fact, it's Atkins. Just happy to see it out of bounds. So Dangerfield's back on the bench now after getting that work done on his eye. Sorry, just above the eye. Had a cut to the head after a head knock with Dane Zorko. Both players seem okay. Zorko's currently on the field. Dangerfield just currently getting a little bit more work done on his eye. Stanley, great play. They just knocked the tackle of McCluggage out of the way. Then handballs it inside to Atkins, who gets met by Archie. Archie did nicely. Steps past one and kicks inside the forward 50. Couldn't mark there was Kolajasny. Puts himself under the pressure. Gives it out to Henry, who sends it out wide. Couldn't get up there was Myers. Great work from Duncan on the ground. He gets a hands free. Myers immediately met by Neil. And it'll be a stoppage once again. A lot of stoppages in this first quarter and a bit. Umpire throws it up. Atkins couldn't gather it. There he goes, Myers to Blitzars. Back to Myers. Good work here from the Cats. And now they get it through Duncan. Duncan runs a little bit, then kicks it short. Finds Hawkins, who was very quiet in this first quarter. Calling Braun to run on, and then just gives it off to Duncan. Give it to the experience. Great drag down tackle there from Dunkley. He just gets to the hands free though, Duncan. And then Cameron gets dragged to the ground. Holding the football. And that was with some vigour, that tackle. Harris Andrews just slung him to the ground. Surprised that wasn't a paid a free kick, to be fair, but I think it was very good defensive pressure there from the Lions. Looked like they were just about to get away there, the Cats, but 2 damaging tackles there from the Lions stops that forward push there from the Cats. Great contested mark there from McCluggage on the wing. He plays on now, sends a long ball towards half forward. Up goes Tom Stewart. Sends a great 20-metre ball towards the boundary line, and it gets there. McInerney wins it down, coming through as McCluggage, immediately met by Bruin. And it'll be another stoppage. A lot of bloody stoppages in this first quarter. My God. McInerney knocks it down, wins it forward, coming through as McCarthy. But great work there from Bruin. Happy to see it out of bounds for another stoppage. And guys, just at this point, just because we've been hitting so many stoppages in this first quarter, we have our first day of our official boundary rider, which is Bogan Moles down on the boundary. So what do you think of the first quarter and a bit there, Bogan? Well, mate, I'm going to be honest. It's been a bloody terrible first quarter and a bit now. I'm a little bit disappointed on the fact that I couldn't go to the Pies game tonight, and you made me come and watch this shit game that we've seen in the first quarter. I think we need a lot more work from both teams. There's currently been 2 goals kicked, and I'm bloody sitting here with a bloody 4X on the boundary, and I couldn't even get a bloody VB. This is bloody crap, and I want to get to another game. Can we please switch it over? Well, that was not a very happy first introduction to our boundary rider there, but I guess he'll be here for the long haul, guys, so I am sorry. We had to bring someone in to be there for the boundary just to watch and get a little bit of inside talk, but apparently he's just not happy with his 4X up in Queensland. But nonetheless, wins it down there in the ruck was McInerney. Atkins coming through, just gets the hands free. Now Neil does nicely, gets out to Dunkley, who handles it out wide, looking for McCluggage, who gets immediately dragged down there from Kolajasny, then got a high one, and then got dragged out of bounds. So for all that pressure, it's out of bounds once again. So great defensive pressure there from the Cats, but again, this is just a standstill in the second term. Wins it down, McInerney, thumps it towards the boundary line, gets met with it from Blitzars. Then McInerney sockers it off the ground inside the forward 50. Hipwood tries to break past Stewart, and then eventually handballs it out of bounds once again. So it's inside the forward 50 now for the Lions, though. But it's been a pretty horrible start to this game. So about 40 metres inside the forward 50 here for the Lions. Umpire rips it back in. Danaher and Stanley go after it. Danaher pushes Stanley under the ball, and it'll be a free kick against him. So a free kick will go to Reece Stanley. And he kicks ball in short, just finds Duncan. In fact, no, that's Isaac Smith. A lot of old players, hard to know them all. Smith goes in short, terrible kick, but Dakota's got all the time in the world to work back onto it. He now sends a long ball out towards the wing to a one-on-one. Guthrie couldn't mark. Now Henry tries to break free, then threw it away. Should have been a free kick, wasn't. Now Hipwood taps it forward to finds Berry, who works back into traffic, but then gets a hands free to McKenna, who kicks the ball short and then pushed in the back immediately. There was Neil, but then played for in fact it was McCarthy, tried to play for it, didn't get it. And now the Cats can go. Smith works a long ball down towards 50. Cameron couldn't mark, but he gets the free kick for his trouble. So Jeremy Cameron will get the free kick. Why is this such low scoring? I couldn't tell you, man. It's been a bloody terrible game of footy so far, I'm telling you. 2 top 8 sides fighting for finals. It's bloody pathetic. And Cameron works a ball in short, and he finds Isaac Smith. Yippee, Skippy. Is that the only thing we're going to say for tonight? Are we waiting for it? So Isaac Smith now just found inside the forward 50. A chance here for Geelong to finally get their first goal. It's going to be a hard kick though. He's 40 metres towards goal, but he's about a 50-degree angle. Smith kicks towards goal, and he's lucky to scrape it through for a behind. So the Cats yet to score a goal in this one, and honestly have not looked likely, but the Lions, in really good conditions by the way, just can't get on the scoreboard. Great spoil there from De Koning on Danaher and locks it inside the forward half here for the Cats. I think it will open up in the second half, but this first half has been very, very, very lackluster. I'm not going to lie to you. Umpire rips it in again. Blitzars wins it down, thumps it towards Dangerfield and Dunkley. Dunkley couldn't get to it, neither could Dangerfield. Happy to see it out of bounds once again. The 2 goals went to Eric Hipwood and Lincoln McCarthy, both of them in the first quarter. No goals have been scored since. Only been the one point scored in the second term so far went to the Cats just a few moments ago. Blitzars wins it down. Coming through was Lockie Neal. Immediately met by Atkins, but got the hands free. Coleman works it to Archie, who now kicks the ball long towards the wing. Up goes Rayner. Just couldn't bring it down. Now Stewart off to Dokoning, and he works in short, finds Duncan. So now the Cats want to take a little bit of sting out of this one. Not that there's been much in it so far. Now Duncan works the ball wide, but it's a terrible kick. Lockie Neal cuts it off. Dangerfield not impressed. Was looking for a free kick, but didn't get it. Terrible kick across goal. Don't know about that option. Leicester couldn't get there. Ollie Henry did well to cause the pressure. Does well to get it out of bounds there, Ryan Leicester. That kick was terrible from Lockie Neal. Trying to switch the play, went to a one-on-one in the defensive goal square. Don't know about that option, but it goes out of bounds in the forward pocket here for the Cats. Umpire rips it in again. Hawkins, little tap down straight down to Neal. Gives it off to Archie. Tries to break through. Gets met by Myers, but gets the hands free. Now McCluggage working the ball into the middle of the ground. The kick was terrible. Miss Rayner. Now in the back though, gets to Danaher. Gives off the hands to McCluggage. They're working through hands now. The Lions. McCarthy looking for the free kick, and now they get it forward. So now McCarthy gets the free kick. He works in short. Finds McKenna at 50. Doesn't have too many options to go to. On the run, you'd give him a bit of a chance. And now he runs on a bit of an arc. McKenna hooks it towards goal. I think he's got it there. He has. Great finish from Connor McKenna. Shows a little bit of equality when it has had very little in this game so far. Great finish from McKenna from 50. The defender and the Irishman stands there, watches these Australian forwards and says, just watch me do it, lads. And nails it from 50. What did you think about that one, Bogan? Oh, well, finally they've shown some sort of quality in this game. It's been bloody terrible so far, and I'm bloody... just can't watch this game anymore. When's the Pies game start? Look, man, it starts in about, what, 2.5 hours from now. So, well, no, not 2.5 hours. About 2 hours from now. So you're just going to have to wait a bit, alright? My God. Don't know why I hide this guy. I don't know why I hide this person, guys. It's not working out for me, I don't think. He's too busy drinking 4X's down in the boundary, and it's bloody pissing me off. So now we're back in the middle of the ground. Lions led it by 19 points. Only the 3 goals scored so far. About halfway through the first half. Sorry, halfway through the second quarter. Lockie Neal met well there by Bruin. Then gets the hands free to Oscar McInerney, being able to stoppage in the middle of the ground. Chance here. McInerney takes it out of the ruck, sends a high ball. Not the best kick, though. Cut off there nicely from Bose. He takes a little bit of a run and works the ball out wide. Not the best kick. Couldn't mark it. There was Miser, works out the back. Now Payne decides to run it over. Could be in a bit of trouble if it's deliberate. And the umpire is more than happy to just let him get away with that one. So throws it in the umpire, just forwards half of the wing here for the Cats. Zorko gets the handball out the back through Dunkley. He's had a few more touches in the second term. Sends a high ball. Great work there from Guthrie to go back with the flight. Couldn't take the mark though. Now Henry gives off the handball back to Guthrie, who sends a high ball down the wing. Up goes Blitzars here nicely. Taps it down to Dangerfield. Works the ball in short. Hawkins play on the calls. Touched off the kick. Now close. Met well there from Payne. Gives it off to Hawkins though, who kicks it back inside. Terrible kick from Tom. And now Wilmot cuts it off. Here go the Lions. Payne gives it back. Not the best play there from Harris Andrews. Happy to run it out of bounds. No goal from Geelong, but it's going to be half time soon. I've still got 12 minutes of game time in this first half, so there's a lot of time left. So just inside the forward 50 for the Cats. Umpire throws it in now. Hawkins trades the front spot, gets a little tap down to Dangerfield. Cameron tapped it out of his grasp though. And now Fletcher kicks a long ball out of defensive 50. Heads towards the wing. Danaher's up. But then Hera Kipwood for some reason spoils it out of bounds when he had a free run and jump at it. To be honest, none of these teams look like playing finals at the moment, but obviously both of them placed in very good positions right now. So the Cats really need to work into this one, yet to score a goal, and we're halfway through the second quarter. Ashcroft working through, couldn't gather it. Now Dunkley handballs it through, finds Zorko, who dribbles one down the wing on the bounce, misses Guthrie, and then misses Eric Kipwood as well. Rayner trying to tap it out of the grasp of Bose, and did nicely, then works back onto it. Rayner works it inside. Great kick on the bounce. Did well to smother it. There was McCarthy, who kicks it inside the forward 50. Not the best kick. Danaher playing for the free. Didn't get it. De Koning dragged down from Cameron. Gets out the handball to Stewart. He handballs it into Bose. Great pressure here from the Lions. And now Danaher in the pocket. In short. Not the best kick on the right boot. Great pressure there from Fletcher. Good tackle there from Wilmot as well on O'Connor. It'll be a stoppage 20 metres out from the Lions' goal. Joe Danaher just didn't have a right boot there. You would have thought he would have snapped a goal, but he worked the ball inside 20 metres towards the top of the goal square, and the kick was terrible. Now Danaher, though, takes it out of the ruck, kicks towards goal, and it goes wide. Through for a behind. So now Kolajasny takes the kick-in duties of the Cats. He sends a long ball down the wing. It's not the best kick, though. Archie cuts it off. So Lions have a couple of repeat entries coming up. Handballs, no, I spoke too soon. The handball to Coleman was terrible. It was way out of the grasp of Coleman, but he did well to work back onto it, Archie, and then Entries kicks it on the full. Oh, that was not good. The kicking efficiency right now for the Lions is just over 50%. And I'm telling you right now, it feels worse. So Bose goes in short to Kolajasny, who's in the defensive pocket. Doesn't have too many options. He kicks the ball in short. Just finds O'Connor on the lead. And then O'Connor plays on, sends the ball out wide to Koning. Holding the boundary line, just takes it. Gives off the handball. A little bit of run coming in from the Cats. Guthrie now. He kicks the ball down the wing, but it's cut off straight away. Does nicely there, Leicester. Leicester in short. He finds Fletcher. Had a few touches early in this game, Fletcher. He's played quite nicely. And he kicks the ball down the wing towards half forward. Well done there from Stewart. It's first intercept mark of the quarter. So locked him down a little bit more. The Lions in his second term. Great kick to close, and he gives it off to Bruin. He sends a high ball down towards the forward 50. Henry couldn't mark. Now Fletcher steps Henry very nicely. Gives it back to Wilmot. Back to Fletcher. Don't know about that handball, though. He gives it back to Wilmot. Makes it his problem. And now the Lions work it back in defensive 50. Andrews worked himself a little bit under pressure and then sends a high ball down the wing. Up goes Dunkley. Probably should have marked it. Play on. And now he's dragged down. It'll be a free kick, though, for a high free against Jack Bowes. His first half still has not opened up. Handballs it inside there. Dunkley is a terrible handball to the toes of McCluggage, but he did nicely to make it look a lot better than it was. Kicks in short, and he finds Leicester. Nope. It is Fletcher. He goes in short to Lockie Neal. So the Lions just not finding much quality with the ball in hand, but the Cats just can't get the ball forward. So now Lockie Neal sends a high ball back inside the forward 50. Up goes Tom Stewart from 5 deep, couldn't mark. Gets out the back, O'Connor just kicks it to himself almost, and then Gunston off the ground, sockers it out of bounds. Gibberish go Geelong. Well, they've started off pretty poorly, but I think there'll definitely be a lot more quality in the second half. The game will open up. So forward pocket here for the Lions. Danaher's going to be taking the ruck roll here with Stanley. Just because a little tap down was Stanley. Atkins coming through, couldn't get through. Bruin ducks to the head. Could be in a bit of trouble. Umpire calls for a ball up. Throws it up once again. Little tap down there from Stanley. McCluggage couldn't gather it. Great work there from Bruin to stand over it. Tackled down nicely on Fletcher. Another stoppage. A lot of stoppages in this first half. Stanley just rips Danaher out of the ruck contest and he'll get the free kick. So a chance here for the Lions to get their 4th goal of the game. Danaher had a chance earlier in this one, missed it pretty poorly, and had a little bit of a chance a few moments ago, but decided to pass it off. Joe Danaher looking a lot more straight-laced right now, ready to line up for a goal. Yeah, he's thrown straight out of that one there, Joe Danaher from the ruck contest, so he gets the free kick. Joe Danaher comes in. Chance to kick the Lions 4th. Pretty straight run up. Looks pretty nice. Fades late though. And goes through for a behind from the spoil of Sam DeConey. So now Stewart works in short. The Cats currently at half back at DeConey. And he sends a long ball down the wing to a 2-on-1. Up goes O'Connor, nearly uncontested. Just couldn't take it. Now Ashcroft working hard. Down at the bottom of that fracas, and he just couldn't get it out. Be another stoppage on the wing. In perfect conditions at the Brisbane tonight, they just can't get goals. Ashcroft did nicely to Zorko. Back to Ashcroft, looking for a high one. Didn't get it. Wasn't there, in my opinion, looking for that high free kick. Now the Cats can go on the counter. Bowes off to Myers. Takes a bounce. Doesn't have any options, so he just goes again. He's got a few options in short. That's where he goes. Finds Hawkins on the lead. He gives it back to Myers. Always a great ball user inside the forward 50. And this is great play there from the Cats. He finds Brad close on the lead. He is on 50, the man on the mark. I don't think he's got this distance in him, so he goes in short close. Well done there from Dangerfield to steal it off his opponent. And then he kicks from 50. That's great quality there from Paddy Dangerfield. Cats finally get there first. Great goal there from the Cats. They finally get on the board with 6 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this first half. Took them a while, but they've been more than happy with that finish. Only had the 8 touches so far, Paddy Dangerfield, but he's been good with them. $15-point lead to the Lions. First half probably hasn't been one to talk home about. Bounces it down. Danaher and Stanley in the ruck. Stanley just thumps it forward on as far as Neil. He gives it off to Wilmot. Sends the ball long towards the forward 50. Up goes Archie. He did nicely. And slipped over, unfortunately. He had Danaher on the run. He still has him on the run. Kicks it towards 50 and great mark. So now Joe Danaher from 50. He likes this distance. He doesn't just half kick these ones. He puts the laces through them from 50. Always gets the best contact on the ball. A chance here for Big Joe to get the Lions' 4th goal. Had Had a chance a few moments ago. This is a little bit closer in. Gets that left arc. Drives towards goal. It hooks back a little, then fades. It's still in the goal square. Thump through from De Koning once again. Another behind for the Lions. Bowes in short to Dunkley. Into Duncan. And now Stewart. Half back on the Telstra logo. Goes towards the wing. It's a great kick. Blitzar's all on his own. Again, doesn't have an option, so he just has to take a run off the mark. They still can't get much run into this game, the Cats. They're not exactly a running team, but it's very stagnant footy at the moment. Kicks off the left boot, Blitzar. I don't know about that kick, but it actually works. Dangerfield takes the mark. Immediately goes. He's trying to get some run into the game. The kick was poor. Cut off well there from Fletcher. Then Fletcher kicks it inside. Great kick. He finds Hipwood all on his own. He kicks it out wide. The Lions could go here through Gunston, but he has no options to go to. So he holds it up. Umpire calls him to play on, and he still stands there. Eventually gives it off to McKenna. He's trying to get some run into this game. Didn't have an option, so he gives it back to Gunston. He works it back to McKenna. Then he goes back and finds Fletcher. No, it's Lester. He goes in short to Payne. This is like that Simpsons episode. You know when they're talking about the soccer? And Kane Bronkwood's like, he kicks it short. Holds it. This is that. Coleman in short. He finds Hipwood. He plays on now. Sends the ball inside the forward 50. Off the instep. Couldn't mark it. There was Archie. Good score from College Jasney. Keeps it in though, Archie. Tries to look for a handball. Didn't have one. Now Guthrie just gets the hands free to Blitzars, who sends a high ball down the wing. It's a 2-on-1 in the Lions' favour. Andrews did nicely. Well on there from Ollie Henry as well to cause a contest. He gets out of bounds. 4 minutes, 24 seconds to go in the first half. Lions by 16 points. Only 4 goals have been scored in this game, with 2 opponents who have been some of the more high-scoring teams in the comp this season. In perfect conditions up in the Gabba tonight as well. Rayner takes it out of the ruck, then immediately met by Blitzars. Umpire circles, but it'll be another stoppage once again. Looking for a free kick there. Danaher didn't get it. Stanley taps it down. Now Duncan working hard. Can't get the hands free. Atkins, great tackle on Lockie Neal. Then he can't get the hands free either. So drag down another stoppage here. So on the centre wing now. Out of side. Just over 4 minutes to go. Stanley wins it down once again. Atkins coming through. Couldn't grab it. Now Rayner Warriors Bowes out of it. He just gets the kick away from the Atkins tackle. Sends a high ball down to centre half forward. Great mark from Lincoln McCarthy. Works back off the mark. Doesn't have too many options. He doesn't have the distance in him, though. So he just works around, kicks the ball into the pocket. And all on his own, somehow, is Joe Danaher. Geelong will be very good in defence so far, considering they are down by 16 points, but to have only conceded 3 goals towards half-time is very, very good. It's just the fact that the Cats haven't been able to score themselves that makes this scoreboard look a lot more flattering to the Lions. But now Joe Danaher in the pocket. Snaps on the left boot. He loves that natural arc. And he kicks the goal there, Big Joe. 4th goal of the game for the Lions. They take a 22-point lead. So we're back in the middle now. 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in this first half. Lions got the last goal through Joe Danaher. They lead by 22 points. Cats probably really love one just going into half-time here to get a little bit more of a flattering look on the scoreboard. Duncan over the top to Atkins, and now they're working through hands. Out to Holmes. He meets 50. He's got an option in short. He goes longer than that, though. There's a poor kick there from Max Holmes and cut off there by Coleman. Stengel, I don't think he's touched it very often so far. Just a little bit stagnant. He works in short. Coleman finds Ashcroft, and now McCluggage at half forward. At half back. Plays on now. Sends a high ball towards the wing. 2-on-1 is Archie. He's had a good first half, Callum Archie. Then off at the back does nicely. Gives it off to Berry. On with the handball. Just couldn't gather it though. And it gets out of bounds. Archie's had a very good first half for the Lions. Probably been one of their best. In the stoppage, McInerney wins it down only as far as Atkins, who gets dragged down without disposal. Should be holding the ball. And wasn't paid. Probably didn't have an opportunity to get rid of it. So fair call, actually, from the umpire. Still locked up in this one. Stanley wins it down only as far as Ashcroft, who snaps it over the top of his head. Just goes to the 15. Umpire's called for a free kick, and it will go to O'Connor. So now the Cats want to switch it. Duncan hasn't gone 15. Handballs it inside to Bose. Makes it his problem. Just got lucky there with Cameron going to ground. But now Colin Jasny works it out wider to find Holmes. The Cats can finally get inside the forward 50. They've got the numbers here. Holmes just needs to find the space and decides to go in short and finds Isaac Smith. So now Isaac Smith, he'll just outside 50 here. A couple of years ago, you'd say he'd get this distance. Now it's a little bit unsure. Gets a little bit of an arc. Doesn't get the distance, but it will make the goal line. Spoiled through there from Oscar McInerney for a behind. Coleman in short to Payne. He's had a very good first half. Sends the high ball towards Gunston. Great body on Holmes. Takes the mark. Just over a minute to go in this first half. Lions look pretty content to just hold this lead. He works in short to Ashcroft. Looks like they may go with a little bit more of a switch here. Get one more chance in this first half at Payne. Takes the mark in the defensive 50. More than happy to just go down the line to Fletcher. And they've actually got a little bit of overlap here with the Lions. He takes the mark by Cluggage, wants to give it off. Now Gunston on the run. Don't know about this from the 30-year-old, but he kicks the ball long inside the forward 50. Not the best kick, though. And Reece Stanley takes the intercept mark. So 50 seconds to go in the first half. Cats have the ball, but down by 21 points. In short, Isaac Smith, only one goal in this first half for the Cats, courtesy of their captain in Paddy Dangerfield. But all this first half, they've been really stagnant, the Cats. Cameron tries to take a mark on the wing, couldn't, and it's knocked out of bounds with 30 seconds to go. Yippee, Skippy. Umpire throws it in now. McInerney may have been held. Play on. Ashcroft comes through. Now Fletcher gives over the handball. Just missed Rayner. But now Ashcroft coming through. To show a little bit of quality from the young man in the first half. Drives it towards goal. Stewart on the last line for the Cats as always. Takes the mark. Over the top to O'Connor. Not the best kick though. Now the Lions lock up the pressure. O'Connor dragged down there from two Lions. And the umpire doesn't pay holding the ball. Very unlucky there, the Lions. But with 10 seconds to go, the Cats... Chris Scott takes a drink of water. He's not impressed. He's very happy that wasn't a conceding goal. They've still got one more chance here, the Lions, though. Stanley wins it down to Blitzars, who's immediately tackled. He could be under a bit of pressure here. But the umpire comes through for a throw-up. And the Cats still got to be careful here. They wouldn't want to give away a free kick. 3 seconds to go. Siren should go in a moment. Stanley wins it down. Coming through was Tui. And that will be the first half. And a couple of players going a bit of a fracas right now. Tui grabs a nice jumper of Zorko. Couple of words being spoken here. Tui's still screaming out. Obviously, the top games holder for the Irish players in the AFL. But it looks like both teams are going to go to their camps now. So at half-time, the Lions lead 4-8-32 to the Cats 1-5-11. I'll bring up the statistics and then we'll go to half-time. Alright guys, so at half-time, the leading disposal getter on the ground is Callum Archie with the 16. He's been brilliant so far. Tom Stewart with the 14 for the Cats leads, all comers for them. And then with 14 we have Connor McKenna, and 13 with Lachie Neale and McCluggage lead the top 5. And if the AFL fantasy watchers out there, we have Tom Stewart leading all comers with the 61 along with Lachie Neale. 60 goes to Callum Archie, 57 to McKenna, and then 56 to McCluggage at the half-time siren. So guys, we'll be back in about 15 minutes with the second half. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. Today we're actually up to episode 20, which is a pretty big milestone for our podcast, so I really appreciate you guys watching today. Today we've got a huge couple of topics to talk about. First, I'm just going to quickly cover over one of the tribunal decisions over the weekend, which if you look at the background of the Swans, you probably have an idea of what I'm going to have a whinge about. We're also going to go over some predictions for the rest of the season, and then we'll cover the usual stuff of the weekly votes, tips, and AFL fantasy stuff towards the end. But of course, on the weekend, Thursday night was the Swans versus the Bulldogs, and Dane Rampy has been suspended for that game for 2 weeks. Now, he is challenging it, and this will be coming out on Tuesday morning, so I think Tuesday night they will be deliberating if he gets away with it or whatever. I cannot believe that got 2 weeks. You watch the replay, I'm sure everyone's seen it by now, that Dane Rampy ran into McNeil of the Western Bulldogs. It was the most accidental contact I think I've ever seen on an AFL field. Didn't look at him at all. Was watching the play going on up the field, and he hit McNeil from behind because he was watching the ball. He didn't have an eye on his opponent. Now, I guess someone could make the excuse of, oh, he's right there, how could you not see him? I'm sure as a defender, and if anyone's played AFL football before, or played football before, would probably have an idea of playing as a defender that you probably got a bit of tunnel vision almost of like you're watching the ball up the field to watch where the ball's going to track it. And I'm sure he hasn't got an eye exactly on every single player on the field. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't really have an eye for Lachie McNeil at that stage because the ball's way up the field. So he's watching, predicting where to go. And I think that was just ridiculous that he got 2 weeks, considering Josh Trushelli also got 2 weeks for something that was not an AFL, not in the play, which, like Dane Rampy was, but he full-on threw an elbow at a player and hit him in the face. He got 2 weeks as well. And also, the week before that, we saw Toby Nankervis only get 1 extra week. He got 3 weeks for running past the football and elbowing someone in the head and giving him concussion. How is that 3 weeks, but Dane Rampy for accidentally running into a player 2 weeks? That is ridiculous from the AFL tribunal, the MRO, to have even considered giving him even a fine for that, let alone 2 bloody weeks for that. That was bullcrap. And you could see a lot of people in the comments were saying that's ridiculous. How could that have been a week or 2 or anything? And I can't believe the AFL made that decision because that was just ridiculous. Now, I could probably sit here for another 20 minutes talking about it, but we've actually got a pretty big podcast to go through today. So I don't want to just be spending here all day complaining about the AFL tribunal being an absolute joke because, let's be honest, I'm sure you guys know by now how bad it is. But what I wanted to do today was basically the main topic of this video, is to go through the rest of the season predictions. Now, over on Squiggle, it's a website that you can actually predict the rest of the AFL season. It's a really good website. If you guys want to actually do it, I strongly urge you guys going over there and doing it because it's so informative. It shows the rest of the fixtures for the season. You can go over your tips and just decide, see if you've picked them right, and you really think that's what the games are going to be. At the moment, from now, we have 6 more rounds to go. We're at round 19. There is 24 rounds this year. Now, we'll be putting this up on screen for you guys, but I will go through it as well for people who are just listening. But I have actually done a full ladder prediction for the rest of the season. So here we have, on top of the ladder, outright is Collingwood. In second, we have Port Adelaide. Third, Brisbane. Fourth, Melbourne. Fifth, Geelong. Sixth, Essendon. Seventh, Carlton. Eighth, Western Bulldogs, who just scrape in on percentage. Then we have at 9th, St Kilda, GWS at 10th, Adelaide at 11th, Richmond at 12th, Fremantle at 13th, Sydney at 14th, Gold Coast at 15th, Hawthorn at 16th, North Melbourne at 17th, and West Coast at 18th. Now, I'm going to go through the few that maybe people have a concern about. I'm probably going to go from about 6 to maybe 12. It's probably the ones I'm going to go to and talk about a little bit. So first off, I want to talk about Essendon. Actually, yeah, I'm going to talk about Essendon. So Essendon, of course, had a pretty rough couple of weeks there. They lost to Port Adelaide and kind of sitting in that middle range now. They obviously got beaten by Carlton against Geelong very convincingly. So a couple of people could be a little bit concerned. However, their next 6 weeks are pretty good. They've got West Coast again and they've got North Melbourne again, at both in Docklands, so they don't really have an issue there. They'll win those games pretty easily. They've got the Bulldogs and Sydney in the next 2 weeks. Those are big games. I have tipped them to win both of those games. If they can knock those games both off, they make the finals very easily. If they lose them, then it gets a bit tough, because their last 2 games of the season are the Giants and Collingwood. The Giants are in massive form at the moment, and I think that if they can win a couple of their games as well, they could very well be up there. They've actually, on my ladder, they've only missed by percentage. And obviously they've got Collingwood in the last round. That's a really hard win. But at this stage, I think Essendon, if they can win their next 2 games, they've got the games after that, which are West Coast and North Melbourne, wrapped up easily. They'll be fine. After that, we get to Carlton. Now, how 6 weeks have changed. We did this about 6 weeks ago, and I think I put Carlton in 15th. Suddenly, their form has turned around, and I've actually got them in the 8 now. Their next 6 games are actually pretty okay. Now, they've got West Coast next week. That's at Docklands Stadium. That's, 100-point win, whatever. They've got a pretty good percentage, Carlton, as well. So I give them a big chance of making the 8 because of their percentage. They've got Collingwood after that in round 20, so I'm giving them a loss there, and Melbourne in round 22. Other than that, they've got West Coast, like I mentioned, then they've got St Kilda in round 21, Gold Coast in round 23, and then the big game in round 24 against the Giants. That is a huge game, because I've got that one here. Whoever wins that game is going to make the 8. And at this stage, I've got it on Carlton. Now, that game, whoever wins it, right now, will make the 8 on the final ladder. Now, I don't know who's going to win that game. I've got it on Carlton at the moment. However, I just heard news that Harry Mackay has been ruled out for the rest of the home and away season. So that's going to be a huge matchup for the rest of the season. But at this stage, I've got Carlton winning that game and making the 8. But however, Giants are in really good form. Just beating Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, that's a massive. After that, we get to the Bulldogs. This is going to be another team as well. They are right in the cusp of it right now after losing to Sydney. They've got the Bombers next week, and like I mentioned, I think they lose that. And they've got the Giants in... I think that's at... sorry, it says Eureka Stadium. I'm pretty sure that's down in Ballarat. So... I think they win that one pretty simply. I don't think that's really an issue for the Bulldogs. I know the Giants are in really good form, but down in Ballarat, it's really hard conditions. They usually are pretty good down there. Then they've got Richmond, and then they've got Hawthorn. And now, you'd think that's a pretty easy win for them. This is down in Tasmania. The Bulldogs don't play in Tassie very often. In fact, I don't know the last time they have. And Hawthorn are really good down there, so I've actually picked Hawthorn in that one. So, if the Bulldogs can win that game in particular, they'll make the 8 pretty easily. There should be a game in the 8. However, their last game is against Geelong down in Kindernia Park. They haven't won down there in a long time. They've been close, but they haven't been able to win down there. If the final round becomes... If the final round of the season is the decision between the Bulldogs making it and missing it, I don't think they'll make it. The Bulldogs are on... Right now on my ladder, they're making it by 1%. That is it. And... they're only 1% in front of the next team I'm going to talk about, which is St Kilda. St Kilda are falling off the face of the earth right now. We saw Ross Lyon in the latest interview, post-game interview. He basically said the Saints at this stage don't deserve to make finals. I kind of agree with him. I actually really respect him coming out and saying that. Because the amount of times you hear coaches go, oh, we're in a rebuild, all that sort of stuff. And he did say that, but he also mentioned the fact that we are not playing well enough to make finals, and if we do, we're just making up the numbers. I really respect that from Ross Lyon. But they've got a pretty good run home. They've got the next 3 weeks, the Saints. If they can win their next 3 games, they can set up the rest of the season. They've got North Melbourne, Hawthorn, and Carlton. Now, how they're playing at the moment, they won't win any of their last 6 games. But if they can win at least... They've got Richmond and Geelong and Brisbane to end the season. So those are pretty 3 hard games. And they've also got Brisbane at the Gabba, so I can't see them winning that at all. However, the next 5 games are at home. They're all at Docklands Stadium. I do give St Kilda a little bit of a chance if they can find their form from what they had at the start of the season. But at this stage, I don't see them making it, purely on the fact that, one, their percentage is very low. They don't seem like they can win games very big, and they're just playing really bad at the moment. I mean, if they can do what Carlton did and, change their form around 180, I give them a chance. But at the moment, I think they missed the 8.
After that, we get to the Giants. This is the team that I think can make the 8. If they can keep their form that they've got at the moment, they will make the 8. And honestly, I think they can do some damage in the finals. I don't think they can win the premiership by any means, but they're playing such good footy. They've got one of the best defensive combos in the comp in Taylor and Buckley. They've also got Connor Iden back there, who's playing some brilliant footy at the moment. They've got rebounding defenders in Lockie Whitfield. They are just playing some great footy, and they're a really good team to watch. However, their next 6 games are kind of tough. They've got the Gold Coast next week at Manuka Oval. They should win that. Then they've got the Bulldogs down in Ballarat, I believe. Then they've got the Swans, Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, the Bombers, and Carlton to finish the season. That is a real tough month at the end of the season as well. Well, the last 5 weeks are really tough. They are 50-50 games and honestly set up the 8. If GWS can get through on probably 4 wins, I see them making it. However, I've got them only for 3 at the moment. I think they beat the Swans, I think they beat the Bombers, and I think they beat the Gold Coast in the next 6 weeks. I don't think they beat the Bulldogs. I don't see them beating Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, and I can't see them beating Carlton at Docklands if they're both in the same form they are right now. So at this stage, I've got GWS just missing the 8. Now, again, if they can pull one of those games, though, I think they're a real chance, and I think they can actually put a bit of damage on the top 8 teams as well. After that, we get to Adelaide. Adelaide really cost themselves a top 8 spot after the game against the Giants. If they won that game against the Giants, because of their percentage, they would be in 7th right now. If they had that game, and on my prediction, they would have the top 8. They would have 7th wrapped up right now. However, because they lost it, they've got a pretty weird run home. They've got Melbourne next week. They've got Port Adelaide in the showdown. Then they've got the Gold Coast, which they should win. And then they've got Brisbane at the Gabba, which I can't see them winning. The Swans in round 23 at Adelaide Oval. And then to end the season, they've got the West Coast Eagles. So they'll win that one, and they'll win that one pretty comfortably. It is at Perth Stadium, so I don't think they'll win by as much as they would if it was at Adelaide Oval. But at the moment, the Crows, I think, have cost themselves a final spot. And I think maybe it's probably not the worst thing in the world for the Adelaide Crows to not play finals this year. We've seen some teams in the past maybe make finals a little bit too early. So I don't think it's the end of the world if the Crows miss this season. However, I think they've cost themselves with that game against the Giants. That was a big loss to them. They had the lead at 3/4 time by 17 points, and they cost themselves, I think, a finals berth on that one game. However, if they can win the showdown, I think they make the 8. That's the game there. If they can win the showdown or maybe pull the win against Melbourne, which I don't think they can because they played poorly outside of Adelaide this year. But if they can pull the showdown, they make the 8. But at this stage, the Crows are out of it. And the final team I'm going to talk about here is Richmond. Now, Richmond are in some good form. Obviously, they did have that bit of a hiccup against Brisbane. Other than that, though, they've been pretty good, Richmond. The way they end the season isn't the easiest. They've got a pretty mid-run. They've got Hawthorn this week. Then they've got Melbourne. Then they've got the Bulldogs, St Kilda, North Melbourne, and Port Adelaide. Now, look, they beat North Melbourne pretty easily. But at this stage, I haven't actually got them for a win in any of the other games. And Hawthorn. Sorry, I've got them against Hawthorn. But any of the other games, against Melbourne, I don't think they win. Against the Bulldogs, I don't think they win because it's at Marvel Stadium. Against the Saints, I don't think they win either because it's at Marvel. And then they've got the Power at the end of the season at Adelaide Oval. So I don't think they make it, Richmond. They're too far behind now. I think they're just before Damien Hardwick left. I think that just costs them a little bit. Their percentage is also quite low. They didn't get the percentage that they needed against the West Coast Eagles last week. And North Melbourne, I think they can get a bit of percentage off that game, but I think they needed to get the two bursts off those games. And against Hawthorn as well, with James Sicily back, I don't think they're going to be as easy to thrash. So at this stage, I'm picking Richmond just to miss the 8. Now, Fremantle and Sydney, I will quickly go over them, in fact. Fremantle, they've got an okay run, but they've just lost it now. The way they've finished this season is poor. And honestly, in the rest of the season, they've got the Swans next week. I think they'll win that. And they've got the West Coast Eagles. Other than that, I think they're shot. They've got Hawthorn at the MCG, which I think they could win, but that's basically it for them. And with the Sydney Swans, look, they won last week against the Bulldogs to give themselves a slim chance of making the finals. But really, the next 3 weeks is Fremantle away, Essendon away, and then GWS in the Sydney Smash, or whatever the fuck they call it now. I don't think they win any of those games. And to be honest, for the rest of the season, I only think they beat the Gold Coast in the next 6 weeks. So, look, if Sydney can bank, what do they have to get? They have to get 4 wins from here to make the 8. I don't think they bank not 4. I think they need to get 5 wins from here to make the 8, which I don't see them doing. I don't see them beating Fremantle and Perth, Essendon at Docklands, GWS at all, Adelaide Oval, and I don't think they can beat Melbourne either. So I think Sydney are pretty much shot for now. And really, that's the 8 for me at this stage. Gold Coast, I think, just fall off the face of the earth, like I said. And I think Hawthorn are going to be that 16th spot. And North Melbourne, they've got West Coast later in the season, so they'll get a point out of that. But yeah, guys, those are my predictions for the rest of the season. Make sure to go check out Squiggle. Just look it up on Google or whatever. You'll find it. It's a really good website for you guys to check out the rest of the see if your team can actually make it, if they have a real genuine chance, or if they're probably just maybe out of just have missed out just on the wins at the moment. But yeah, I think it's a really good website. But now that we've gone through the predictions for the rest of the season, let's move into last round. Now, last round we had some really close games, a couple of upsets as well. It was a really good round of footy, and we start with the Thursday night game between the Swans and the Bulldogs. Sydney held on, finally in a close one, and it's almost shot the Bulldogs' final spot. I think, like I said, they make it, but the Bulldogs got to find some form. They couldn't kick a goal. They already had Aaron Norton for the majority of the match, and I think if they were playing a better team, the Bulldogs, they would have been beaten by a lot more. They were very lucky that they were playing Sydney, who have been very underperforming all year. And at this stage, I think the Bulldogs are only going to be making up the numbers if they make the finals this year. But nonetheless, we get to the votes. 3-2-1 votes. 3 votes go to Marcus Bontempelli, 2 votes to Errol Goulden, and the 1 vote to Tom Papley. Now, this was a big contentious one. My brother actually sent me some tips, and he thought that Errol Goulden was better. And I almost put him there, but I just gave it to Bontempelli because I think he played the full 4 quarters. Errol Goulden kind of fell off in the last quarter, but I mean, to his credit, Sydney did win, so I mean, he didn't really play that well. But I think Bontempelli all match was the reason that the Bulldogs were still in this game. He had him on their back for the all game, and he just couldn't get him over the line at the end. So that's why I gave him the 3 votes. Errol Goulden, like I said, was brilliant. I think he's almost got that All-Australian wingman spot locked up now. It's going to be a real contentious one if they actually pick wingman this year. But if they do, I think Errol Goulden's right up there with people like Ed Langdon, Lockie Hunter, Josh Dacos, and I'm forgetting one, Nick Martin. So I think he's a real chance there. And the 1 vote to Tom Papley, kicked 4 goals. He was the fire starter for Sydney. When he plays well for Sydney this year, they look so much better. We saw him obviously way back in Gather Round when he kicked 6 goals. He was really, he was just amazing in that game. And it almost looked like they could start Sydney's season, but I don't know if he's injured or something, but that just really cost Sydney in the end his form throughout the rest of the year. But yeah, that was the votes for that one. Next we get to Melbourne versus Brisbane. I don't know what Brisbane done here. They had this game locked up with 7 minutes to go, and they cost a 4-goal lead and gave Melbourne the win. People can say that Eric Hipwood took that mark, but honestly, I think it would have been a quarter ball up anyway. I think it was pretty much both players had handled the ball, and also you shouldn't be giving up a 4-goal lead with 7 minutes to go. That was poor from Brisbane. They finally had a game at the MCG where they should win, and they shot themselves in the foot. It was really quite embarrassing, really, from Brisbane. But anyway, the 3-2-1 votes. This was a close one, but I did give Max Gawn the 3 votes, 2 votes to Christian Petrarca, and the 1 vote to Joe Danaher. Max Gawn got it for me because this is the Max Gawn that the Melbourne Demons want to see. They don't want to see him up forward. I think that Max Gawn is actually a pretty capable forward, but this is what his role is. He's a sole ruckman. I don't know what they're going to do at Brody Grundy. We'll get into that maybe. No, you know what? Brody Grundy, if he decides to leave, that's a real weak act, in my opinion. If he wants to leave... Alright, guys, back for the second half. Don't worry, the umpire fucked up the bounce, so it's all good. No, there's a stoppage in the middle, so we're definitely good. What team do I go for? I go for the Swans, man. Stanley wins it down.
Coming through was McCluggage, who was clean, did nicely, and that gives it out to Wilmot. So a chance here for the Lions to get the first clearance of the second half. Sends a long ball out wide. Gunston couldn't gather it in the one hand, but is nicely on the ground. Breaks past to Koning. Breaks past Jack Henry for a second time. The kick wasn't the best. It just stays in bounds, I think, for a moment, but then goes on the full. So a free kick will go to Tom Stewart. Goes inside here, Stewart. Dangerous kick. Holmes did nicely. Spins out of the tackle, and now the Cats can go out wide. Guthrie through to O'Connor, and now they work it to Blitzars. Blitzars tries to send a long raking handball. Finds Isaac Smith, but he has to work back onto it, so his kick out wide took a little bit more time than they probably wanted. Stanley does take it, though. How you doing, Swans, man? What are you up to tonight? So now Stanley works the ball into the pocket in a one-on-one. Hawkins couldn't mark. Great spoil away there from Jack Payne. Did nicely. Hawkins looking for the free, didn't get it. Inside the forward 50 of the Cats. Hawkins tries to break out one tackle, then two. Could be in trouble here, Tom. Umpire calls for a ball up. Hawkins wins it out of the ruck. No one can get to it. Trickles out of bounds. So another stoppage here inside the forward 50 here for the Cats. McInerney wins it through. Coming through as Blitzars did nicely. Gets it out towards that close. Now Hawkins can't gather it. Coming through with Zorko is very clean. Did very nicely. Gives it out to Sarskovic, who immediately is met by Dangerfield. Another stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Cats. Coming through again. Blitzars looks like he's going to get a free here, and he does. So a chance here for the Cats to get the first goal of the second half. Got a bit lucky there, Blitzars. Kind of lowered himself so he'd get the high free kick, but nonetheless, chance here for the Cats to get the first. Kicks towards goal, Blitzars. It fades away late, and it's another behind for the Cats. Can we beat Freo? I think we can, but we're not the best. I mean, we beat them there last year, but we didn't play well against them earlier in the season, so we have to play better to have a chance. The Swans. So kick in here from Wilmot, works in short, finds Coleman. A little bit stagnant to start the second half once again. Now Leicester. At half back. Kicks the ball out wide. He finds Neal. So now the Lions trying to get a little bit more run into it. He works it out wide to Dunkley, who goes in short. He finds Gunston. But again, they slow up. They've got a couple of options in the middle of the ground here, the Lions, but he doesn't really want to go there, Jack Gunston. Eventually works the ball inside. Good kick, though. Finds Leicester, and now they can go through the middle. Inside to Coleman. He's got a couple of options, and that was way too easy for the Lions. Charlie Cameron takes the mark inside the forward 50. And a chance here for the Lions to get the first goal of the second half. That was way too easy there from the Lions. And if the Cats want to be considered a finals threat of anything, they need to do better than that. That was way too easy from the Lions. And Chris Scott would be ripping his hair out. That was terrible. So now Charlie Cameron comes in, pretty much straight in front, kicks towards goal. Charlie's going to love that. Lions get the first goal in the second half. Well, Moulsey down to the boundary line. You saw that one firsthand. What did you think of it? Look, I don't know what the Cats are doing down here, but they're bloody not playing footy. I think I could have given a better effort from that, and I'm sunk at least four, what are these called again? Oh, 4 X's. I've sunk 4 of these, and I think I could have gone out there and defended one of those Lions players. That was bloody ridiculous. All right. Maybe stop sinking some tins there, man, and just focus on the game at hand. I think Collingwood starts soon, so you can chuck that on your phone when you're eventually ready for it, all right? Jesus. God's sakes, guys. You think a little bit of professionalism if you're going to be working, eh? God damn. Just can't pay for good work these days. Back in the middle. Stanley wins it down. Stewart's been chucked into the middle there, and he gets the clearance. Kicks it inside the forward 50. It was a pretty nice kick. Couldn't get on the end of it was Cameron, but Hawkins coming through. Gets beaten to it by Starskovic. Gets the hands free just to Payne. Close drags down Payne, but gets the hands free again. Now McKenna off the ground. The Cats get a player free. Cameron fumbles though. Lester drags him down. Play on. Now Close drags McKenna towards the boundary line. It'll be a stoppage. Another fumble there from the Cats. It could cost them dearly here. That was such an easy chance there for Jeremy Cameron. I think he gets that earlier in the year, but he just hasn't met that form since the injury. Umpire throws it in once again. Hawkins wins it down, gets the bounce. He likes it, Jeremy Cameron, but dragged down from Coleman. Be another stoppage. That was a big tackle. Couple of bits of pushing and shoving around here. Umpire throws it up. McInerney takes it out of the ruck immediately. Smothered. Coming through was Duncan. He gets dragged down from 3 Lions. Another stoppage in the pocket here for the Cats. Immediately when they get the ball, the Cats tonight, they have been immediately met by at least 1 or 2 Lions. Wins it out of the ruck there. Hawkins trying to get some space. Bruin taps it back into play. Atkins, handball was poor. And now the Lions break away. Berry to Neal. He gets pushed as he kicked at Lockie Neal. Sends a high ball down the wing. Up goes Hipwood. Couldn't mark. But now they're out here, the Lions. Cameron to McCluggage. Gets it out to Coleman. And now he can go in short. Coleman, not the best kick. Had to make Fletcher come back for it. But he gets dragged down from Guthrie. And it'll be a stoppage on the wing. But great work there from the Lions. Just get that ball out. Get a little bit of space. And then get it out of the defensive area. Umpire throws it up. McInerney gets the ball out of the ruck immediately and sends the ball into the middle of the ground. Up goes Guthrie and McCarthy. No one could win it. McCluggage coming through. Just gets the hands free. Now Cameron just fumbled though. And then gets dragged down there from Bose. Will be another stoppage in the middle of the ground here for the Lions. They just work it forward a good 20, 30 metres. Stanley wins it down. Coming through was Ashcroft. Just get the hands free from Bruin. Now Atkins dropped it, not paid. Now Ashcroft trying to break through. Did nicely. Got the hands free to Oscar McInerney, who's probably pushed. Play on now Holmes. Gets it out towards Duncan and now Kolajasny. The Cats can go through hands here. Close back to Duncan. He's got a player over the top as Atkins. He eventually gets it there. Atkins doesn't have many options, so he just handballs it inside to O'Connor. He's got some space. And inside the forward 50. Finally, the Cats have some space through Tom Hawkins. They've been really locked up tonight, the Cats, but they've finally got a little bit of space to work into. And a chance here for Tom Hawkins to kick the Cats' second goal of the game, which is hard to believe. It wasn't exactly the most fluent game of footy there, the Cats, but they actually finally got a player free. And a chance here for Tom Hawkins, pretty much straight in front, about 35-40 out, to kick his first goal of the night. Hawkins comes in to kick the Cats second. It comes off the side of the boot a little. And it's through for a behind. Another miss for the Cats. They're 1 goal, 7 now. It's just not the Cats that we're expecting tonight. So now Payne in the back pocket. Been brilliant so far. Sends a high ball down the wing to about three players. McCluggage goes up, couldn't mark it. Now Duncan did nicely to Smith. And now Atkins has a few options inside the forward 50. Sends a high ball to a 2-on-1. Great ball from behind there from Harris Andrews. On the ground is Myers. Can't get it away. Great tackle from Coleman. That's holding the footy. Wasn't paid! That is a shocking decision from the umpire. He let that go, Ryan Myers. I don't care if you got a boot onto that. That was fucking brilliant footy from the Lions. That's a shocking decision. Chris Fagan was not happy in the box. Mark taking it half forward here from the Lions. They've worked it forward quickly. Archie gives it off to Hipwood from 50 to make the Cats pay in full. Hipwood nails the goal. 5-goal lead to the Lions. Hipwood nails it from 50. And that's what the doctor ordered. Cats are in all sorts. Great finish from Eric Hipwood from 50, and Callum Archie just playing a brilliant game of footy tonight. Maybe on his career best game. He's had a massive influence on this one. And Hipwood's got 2. $30 points to the difference. Going to be hard here for the Cats now. They've only kicked 1 for the entire match. And they're down by 5 at the moment. Back in the middle. McInerney wins it down to McCluggage. Tries to get the clearance. Great smother from Stewart. But now Dunkley will get the clearance here for the Lions. High ball towards half forward, but cut off there by Bowes. Very surprising that Tom Stewart's sitting in the middle of the ground. One of the best intercept defenders in the game. Who's played a brilliant first half. They chucked him into the middle. Play on now. Myers in the middle. Gives it off to Atkins. He has a few options inside the forward 50. He's got one longer. 2-on-1 Cameron. Great spoil from Leicester. 2-on-1 did brilliantly. And Payne takes it over the boundary line. Coming through Atkins, can't get it away. Now Dunkley gets it forward. Coming through is McKenna, gets bumped off it by Stengel. Gets the gather on from close. The handball's poor from Stengel. He's been quiet tonight. Now Archie gives it off towards Andrews, who heads out wide. Now Carly Cameron has some space, doesn't know where to go. So he's going to kick it backwards, and he goes to half back, finds Archie. He's been instrumental so far, Callum Archie. He's been brilliant. He goes in short to Charlie once again at half-back. He's worked a long way up the field to get this football. Archie leads into the pocket. Nearly got a ball there. But now he goes inside to Wilmot. So it looks like the Lions going to look for a switch here. So he looks like he's going to go down the line instead. Wilmot play a little bit more safer. Sends it long to 2-on-2. Stewart can't get in front. Gets the ball down. O'Connor dragged down from Rayner. The tackling's being lifted here from the Lions. Ball just forward side of the wing here for the Lions. In the stoppage, Blitzars wins it down in as far as McCluggage. He dives in. Atkins drives in as well. He gathers it well. Atkins then threw it away. He was lucky not to be a free kick paid against him. Be another stoppage on that wing position. Lions' defensive pressure's really lifted in this third term. Cats just can't go anywhere near them. Wins it forward there, Blitzars. Wins it backwards, sorry, Blitzars. Can't get it. Now McCluggage coming through. Front of the stoppage to Ashcroft, who sends a long ball towards the top of the goal square. Cameron in a one-on-one. Just can't mark. Play on's the call until the umpire intervenes. Free kick will go to Zach Tui, who goes in short and finds O'Connor. He goes in short. And he finds Blitzar, so he gives it off immediately. Back to O'Connor, trying to get some run in the game here, the Cats. That was about a 10-metre kick to Atkins. Play on. Doesn't have many options, though, Tom Atkins. Gets dragged down from Oscar McInerney. Just gets the kick away. Holmes, working on the wing, just can't get the hands to Stengel. Hipwood, trying to get away, just gets the hands free. Holmes tries to get it back, but then Starskovich gathers it. Archie on the wing has a little bit of space to work into. Now he goes long, not the best kick. Tui stops it by with his foot in nicely and then gathers it. Off half back, goes in short, finds O'Connor. So now O'Connor, in short, finds Blitzars. Don't have much players here, but now they've got a little bit of overlap here, the Cats. To Koning, takes a weird bounce, don't know about that option. And then sends a high, long, slow ball to Tanner Bruin, who took the mark. Great take in the end. 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this third term. Cats only got the one goal for the match so far. Bruin sends it long towards Stanley and Cameron. They both fight over it and spoil each other. Bowes gives it off the handball to Ollie Henry. Gets immediately met by Lions. Now Cameron can't gather it from Payne. Close. Just gets it away to Bowes, who gets dragged down. Still gets the ball back somehow. Ricochets towards him. Now McCluggage sockets it off the ground. Great little tap on from McKenna. And now Rayner can go through the middle. Has some space. Doesn't have too many options. So sends a scraping ball down the forward 50 to Charlie Cameron, who sprints away. Gives it off to Lincoln McCarthy, who dribbles it home. The Lions are hot at the moment. 36-point leaders. They've got the only 3 goals of the third term, and the Lions running hot at the Gabba. They've been good tonight, the Lions, up forward. And they're finally getting some reward to show for it. 7 goals now, 3 in the third term. Really running away with this game. The Cats look out of sorts tonight. So we're back in the middle once again. Stanley just spikes it forward. Dangerfield tries to get there, but slog it off the ground. There was McKenna. Immediately met well there from Tui. Takes the mark. He sends the ball back towards forward 50. 2-on-1 for the Cats. Great work from Dangerfield. Takes the mark. He needs to spark him, it looks like. Goes inside the forward 50. Spoiled away nicely there, Rayner. But now Lester just gets the clearing ball. Great mark from Coleman. And now the Lions want to go again. They want to kill this game off right now. Wilmot finds Ashcroft and now Fletcher. Kicks the ball down the wing. It's a great option. Finds Gunston. He's got Archie on his own inside the forward 50. And Gunston goes a little bit shorter than that. Great work there from Duncan to get back. He takes the intercept play. And now Smith gets it out wide. Not the best kick. Has to make Blitzars go for it. Out wide. Gets on the bounce. McKenna falls to ground though. Chance here for the Cats. Blitzars on the wing. Doesn't have many options. So he just handballs it out wide to Stanley, who goes down the wing. Good kick. Finds Ollie Henry. Great mark. He looks inside. Ollie Henry kicks inside the forward 50 for Bruin. Good mark from Tanner Bruin. And a chance here for the Cats to get their second. Had a pretty good third term, Tanner Bruin. Came to the club for the future. He's had a pretty good month. A chance here to kick his first. So now Bruin, he's had the 8 tackles tonight. He's been brilliant on the defensive side. Can he get on the attacking side here for the Cats? Comes in. We'll kick on 50, Bruin. He sends it towards goal. Looks pretty nice. Has it got the distance? It's touched on the line. It's play on. No, everyone stopped. It's still in play and eventually off the foot of Stengel. Be out of bounds. Be a throw in. So no score for all that. So they're going to check if this is a touch through for a behind, but I think Janaher's hand is there, and it was. You had a pretty good look at that there down there, Mulsey. What did you think of it? I don't even know why they're even checking this. It clearly hit Danaher's hand. If I saw it after sinking 6 tins of 4X, and those bastards can't see it on the right there, then they didn't do their job. That was bloody ridiculous. All right. Well, Mulsey says that it was a no score, so we'll take his word for it. The replay goes with his words on it. I'm probably sure he's seeing 4 goalposts, not just 2. But nonetheless, umpire throws it in. Blitzar's little tap down coming through with Starskovic. Can't gather it. Blitzar's in between his legs. Can't gather it either. Now Dunkley gives it off to Danaher. Kicks it out on the full. Don't even know how he got it there, Joe Danaher. It was a pretty hard option. He basically kicked it 50 metres sideways. Now Tui works it back to O'Connor, trying to get a better angle inside their forward 50. It's so congested by Lions defenders, though. So he's just going to send a low ball into the pocket. Ollie Henry went up, couldn't mark it. Now in the pocket is Jeremy Cameron, dragged down from Coleman. The pressure is just immense from the Lions. Great tackle, he's gone. So Andrews in short to Starskovic, who goes over the top to Danaher, takes the mark. So now Danaher sends a long ball down the wing to a pack of players. Gets out the back, and now the Lions can go again. McCluggage has a few options inside. He has to tread water a little. But now he has an option inside the forward 50. It's not the best kick, though. Trickles towards the boundary line. It will be a throw in. 6 minutes to go in this third term. Lions have kicked the only 3 goals of it and have been immense in this third quarter. So inside the forward 50 for the Lions, they can get another one. The game's almost over. Stanley wins it down, gets towards the defensive 50. Bose just handballs it back into traffic. Don't know about that option. McCarthy back to Neal. It trickles towards Dunkley. Great handball towards Fletcher, who could give the Lions a massive lead. It goes across the face, through for a bind. So now to Koning, just at the defensive side of the wing. Just getting dominated at the moment, the Cats. Last couple of weeks, they've been saying the Cats are a chance for a premiership. Right now, this team won't be making any sort of threat in finals. They're not playing that good a footy. And against the bottom sides, yes, well, they've been flogging them, but against these teams up towards the top of the ladder, here's a chance here for Jeremy Cameron in the defensive 50. He takes the mark. Sorry as I'm saying that. A chance here for Jeremy Cameron to kick for goal. He's only kicked 7 goals in the past 7 games. He's been deadly out of form after a massive start to the season when people were calling for 100 goals this season. A big chance here for Jeremy. Bit of luck here to kick his first. So Cameron only had the 6 touches this tonight. A chance here to get the Cats back in it. Cameron kicks towards goal. Umpire does not move. And Jeremy Cameron gets a little bit of a spark here for the Cats. Well, the Lions have just given up a real bad one there. Starskovic trying to go across goal. The kick had to be a 60-metre kick towards Leicester. And it just couldn't get the distance on it. Great read from Jeremy Cameron. He looks a little bit sore still from the previous contest where Coleman got him holding the ball. But now a chance here for the Cats to get back into it. If they can get him going, Jeremy Cameron, late in this third quarter, into the fourth, they are a chance. Four minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Umpire bounces it down. McInerney wins it out the back, coming through. There was Blitzars, did nicely, socketed it off the ground, but then it only goes as far as Berry to Dunkley. And now he doesn't have many options, Dunkley, so eventually just draws to the pressure and gets it out to Coleman. He's out on the wing all on his own and sends a dart inside the forward 50. On the bounce was Cameron, couldn't gather it. Now Bose to DeConing, working it through half back here, the Cats. Smith trying to get someone to give it to, but he has no one to go to. So he just runs back into pressure back against the grain and gets it off the Bose. He handballs it back in front of him, gets Isaac Smith on the run and sends it out wide to Myers. Good mark, running back with the flight. A chance here for the Cats to maybe get another late one. Myers works it inside to Dangerfield on his own. On 50 takes the mark. So a chance here because the Lions only kicked the 7 tonight. They're not exactly high-scoring game of footy. A chance here for the Cats to get back within 25 points if Dangerfield can convert. So Dangerfield, the only other goal scorer other than Jeremy Cameron who scored moments ago. A chance here to kick his second. Paddy Dangerfield. A long kick towards goal. Has he got the distance, Paddy Dangerfield? You bet he does. The Cats are in with a chance. Is that the fire starter from Paddy Dangerfield? What a massive finish from outside 50. Nails the goal. Cats comeback. It could well be. That's 2 in a row now. Yippee Skippy, yes. Yippee Skippy. So Paddy Dangerfield off the ground now after the goal. I think they need him out there for the rest of this game. But a good finish there from Dangerfield from 50. So still 3 minutes to go on this third term. They've kicked 2 goals in a row. It took them 2.5 quarters to get 1 goal. Since then, in about 2 minutes, they've kicked 2. Back in the ruck coming through there was Reece Stanley. Now in the middle, coming through is Mullen, who's been on the ground. We'll have to ask Moulsey in a minute who came off. So Mullen came on the ground. So, Millsy, who is off the ground? So, yeah, mate, it looks like that Tanner Bruin has been subbed off. Don't think it's an injury. We'll get more confirmation, but at this stage, Mullen, the Gaelic man, is on the ground. All right, cheers for that, Millsy. We're inside the forward 50 here for the Cats. Neil gives it out towards Payne. Have a little bit of time here, Payne, in back 50. Sends a long ball towards the broadcast wing. Not many options, though. Stewart gathers it. Immediately met by Hipwood. Did nicely. Now Wilmot tries to break past Henry and did. Now with his pace. Gets tackled from Stewart from behind. But gets the kick away towards half forward. Rayner and Tui. Rayner worried him out of it. Did nicely. Runs against the grain. Doesn't have too many options. Gives it off to Wilmot, though, who sends it inside the forward 50. 2-on-1 is Danaher. Couldn't mark. Good spoil there from De Koning. Now Henry dragged down from Danaher. Just outside the forward 50. He makes a little bit of an effort. It'll be a stoppage. So this game's suddenly sparked into life after a very boring first quarter and 2.5 quarters. We suddenly have a game on our hands. Back in the ruck. Spoils it out there nicely. Was McInerney towards Neil. Now Rayner tries to get it towards McCluggage. Couldn't gather it. Henry just gets the hands free, but now he's in trouble here. Blitzars tried to break the tackle. Dunkley drags him down. Should have been gone. Wasn't paid. What time is it left in the quarter? 2 minutes, 4 seconds. Stoppage just outside 50 here, man. Wins it down there. Blitzars can't gather it there. Was Blitzars. Sorry, Stanley was the one who went out of the ruck nonetheless. Tui tries to get the hands free. Almost threw it out. Now Fletcher gets the handball inside the forward 50. Rayner stepped nicely. Out wide to McKenna. Can't win it past Stewart. But now Danaher steps back into traffic, out of traffic. He's 360 around Myers, got himself a little bit dizzy. Now McKenna sends a high ball towards the top of the goal square. Pack of players go up! Charlie couldn't mark. Now Guthrie sends it out wide, makes the runners run for it. It's Smith and Dunkley in a race. Dunkley goes to ground but did nicely. Took the ball with him. Now Coleman works it back to Berry. Doesn't have too many options, so he takes a deep breath, goes back to his captain in Andrews. And everyone takes a breath with just over a minute to go. Andrews steps past Hawkins with ease, then doesn't really have many options, so he just sends a high ball inside the forward 50. Hipwood couldn't mark. Henry out the back. Sends a high ball towards the boundary line. It's going to go out in the full. Lions bring it back inside. So Coleman gets the free kick. So a chance here for Coleman. He's got the ball just outside the forward 50. He sends the ball into the pocket. Not the best kick. Good pressure from Rayner. Coming through is Dunkley. Handballs it towards Danaher. Steps back. Gives it out towards Berry, but lets him. Now Mullen gives it off to Blitzars. And now Duncan at half back. Sends the ball out wide to Stengel. And he takes a breath. So 50 seconds to go now. Stengel has the football. Sends the ball down the wing. It's a good kick. Finds close. He'll get the free kick. Professional free kick given away against Andrews just to slow down the play a little. A little bit of time here for the Cats. Could they get 3 late goals in a row? Close now. Sends the ball towards the forward 50. Blitzar's in front. Payne out the back. Spoiled it towards the boundary line. Just out of the grasp of Isaac Smith and it goes out of bounds. 30 seconds to go. Chance here for both sides to get it. Chance here for the Cats to get a late one. Hawkins in the ruck, it'll tab out the back. Close coming through, couldn't bring it with him. Mullen kept it in front of him. Now Tui gathers it, immediately met by Dunkley. Another stoppage. So under a little bit of pressure here, the Lions. Chris Fagan want to talk to his men at three-quarter time. Try to get Revan back up. McInerney wins it down. Coming through off the ricochet was Berry. Sends the ball into the middle of the ground. Maybe a late chance for the Lions. Not going to be. It looks like De Koning in the last line takes the football. Kicks the ball out wide and he finds Reece Stanley. Players on the bench calling for him to kick it long. That's what he does. A long ball towards forward 50. Up goes Blitzars. Just left it behind. Now Zorko. Hardly been seen in this third term. And as the siren goes, this game is right back in the clenches. Both teams with a chance. At three-quarter time, the scores are 7-9-51 to the Cats. 3-8-26. So Lions lead it by 25 points. We'll look at the statistics, guys, and move into three-quarter time. Alright, guys, so at three-quarter time, leading disposal getter on the ground is Hugh McCluggage with the 20, so he's been massive in this one. Kitty Coleman with the 19's been brilliant off half-back as well. We have 19 as well to Jack Bowes and Callum Archie, and then Lockie Neal with the 18 rounds out the top 5. And then for the AFL Fantasy Watchers out there, we have 96 to Kitty Coleman, 89 to Tom Stewart, 89 as well to Lockie Neal, 82 to Callum Archie, and then Hugh McCluggage with the 79 rounds out the top 5. Okay. Well, by the way, people, if anyone's watching the Port Adelaide Collingwood game tonight, I'll tell you right now, because I'm in Adelaide, it's raining down here, and I live about 15 minutes away from Adelaide Oval. So, just so is anyone wondering, it is pissing down rain at the moment. I'm just going to grab a quick coffee, guys, and then we'll head into the fourth quarter. I'll be back in time anyway. Oh, good. Oh, I thought my coffee. Fuck. Fucking idiot. Well, if this game does get close, the Lions obviously played in a close one last week. Very interesting to see if the Lions learn from that. They're up by 26 points against the Melbourne Demons last week as well. So they're only 25 points up right now. It will be very interesting to see who can get home in this last quarter. Mullen has currently been subbed in, and the bounce goes down. Winning it, the first clearance through Neal. Out to Dunkley, who gets it forward. High ball inside the forward 50. Up goes Joe. Couldn't win it down. In the front of the stoppage now is Fletcher. He breaks past one. Gives off the handball to Joe Danaher, who gets the handball smothered nicely. Henry reads it well. Tackled by two Lions. Be another stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Lions. They were nearly through there, the Brisbane. Just got stopped. So, about 30 out from goal. Free kick against Stanley. Free kick will go to Joe Danaher. Don't know why he played for the high free kick. He obviously got it and then threw himself to ground. Can you say the time when it's for the stream, thanks? Yeah, so Joe Danaher's lining up for goal now. It is 9 minutes and 12 seconds as I say it. It may be easier after he kicks it, so... But yeah, that's what, as I've said, it was the exact time. Joe Danaher comes in, straight in front, 35 metres out, kicks towards goal, he's nailed it, Joe! So now it is 18:57. So first goal in the last quarter goes to the Lions. They're going to be hard to beat now, 31 points the difference. Have they learned from last week? Synced up, all good, man. So currently the Cats are back in the pack, really. I think they'll still make finals. They've got a lot of games at home, but this isn't very good watching if you're a Cats fan right now. 3 goals to three-quarter time. They could be able to smash the bottom teams, but will they be able to compete against these top teams going into the final series? That will be the big question. We're back in the middle now. 31-point lead to the Lions. Stanley wins it down, coming through was Dunkley, gets out the hands, and now clearance through McInerney. It bounces towards forward 50. Hipwood, good gather. The handball was poor, though. Guthrie gets the turnover, sends the high ball towards forward 50. Stengel couldn't mark it. Good pressure here from Leicester. He gets a pin on the ball. Great tackle there from Stengel. Oh, and then he gets dragged to ground. Dunkley probably got would have been a free kick otherwise, but now Stengel drives it inside the forward 50. Great pressure there from Archie. He's been brilliant tonight. Stanley gets it out towards Stewart. Sends a high ball towards the top of the goal square. Cameron in a one-on-one. Andrews gets it away. Breaking through was Duncan. Just let the ball behind, though. Now Zorko kicks it away. Turned over. And a mark and a chance here for Jeremy Cameron. Well, Jeremy Cameron has had a pretty poor, dirty night. But he got a gift in the third quarter and a chance here to get another gift in the fourth. I guess you got to be at the right place at the right time there, Jeremy Cameron. A chance here to kick his second. Stares down at this moment here, Jeremy Cameron, and stands up to it. Cats back to within 25 points. Cameron nails the goal. Yeah, it was an insane game last week. Brisbane had a 26-point lead as well, and they lost it, so... They want to be careful here, the Lions. Last week, they had a 26-point lead against Melbourne with about 8 minutes to go, and they lost it. Can the Cats catch back here? They get one back pretty quickly from answering to the Joe Danaher goal. So we're in the middle of the ground once again. There's still heaps of time in this game. Only 5 goals they need. McInerney wins it down. Coming through with Stewart. Probably got a high one there. Atkins. He gets the free. So he'll get the clearance here for the Cats. He plays on immediately. And he'll send the ball inside the forward 50. About 2-on-2 here. Ollie Henry out the back. Couldn't get there. Andrews did nicely. Hawkins did brilliantly to handball in front of Ollie Henry, who breaks past Harris Andrews. I think he's got the goal, Ollie Henry. 2 in a row for the Cats. They are coming. Umpire's going to get a score review, so I won't put it down yet. But that looked pretty nice there from Ollie Henry. That's a goal. Wait. I don't think Dunkley's touched this. They have to slow that right down. I can't really see it. Oh, that's a goal. We're in for a big last quarter, everybody. Ollie Henry nails the goal from the goal square. And the Cats are right back in this one. "20 minutes ago, the Cats had 1 goal to their name. They now have 5 and they've kicked the 4 of the last 5 goals of this one. And they send a shutter through the Lions' backsides right now. With the outside of the boot, Ollie Henry kicks a brilliant goal. Brilliant quick thinking there from the Cats, just from Tom Hawkins, just to get it forward. He saw Ollie Henry out the back. He knew if he got onto it, he'd nail the goal. Harris Andrews probably going to be a little bit better there. Had to take the body, just couldn't get his hands around him. And now the Cats are right back in this one. Heaps of time left. I don't know why Josh Dunkley's calling for touch there. Like, it wasn't much of a... Like, I've touched it, but, I mean, he didn't touch it anywhere near it. I don't think he touched that. No way. Right back into the Cats. This game was a very boring one about halfway through the third quarter, but suddenly the Cats have come to play. Back in the middle of the ground. McInerney wins it down, coming through as Lockie Neal. He gets the handball off to McCluggage, who handballs it out wide to the ground in front of Wilmot. He did well to make it look a lot better than it was. But the handball outside was paused. Tui can't gather it, eventually gets it off to Atkins. Eventually goes out the back towards Guthrie. Through hands, the Cats get away. Now Tui turns back against the grain, back to Guthrie, who kicks the ball down the wing towards half forward. Up goes, oh, great mark from Duncan. I don't know how he took that. The old legs of Mitch Duncan got up there. He plays on now, into the pocket. 3-on-2 here of the Cats. Up goes Henry. Great spoil there from Payne. Now Andrews drags down Ollie Henry. He paid the mark! Did they pay the mark? I don't know if they paid that mark, but if they did, that's a great decision. I just saw the replay. Sorry. Great mark from Ollie Henry. A chance here. Really tough angle to get the Cats their third of this last quarter. Ollie Henry from an impossible angle. Oh, he's hit the post. Oh, he thought he almost had it. But a chance there for the Cats goes begging. Back to within 3 goals now. Heaps of time in this game. The Lions have really got to keep on playing the game they have for the first 3 quarters. They go back into their shell, go back into a defensive mindset. They'll probably lose this one. Coleman sends it out wide through the hands of Fletcher. It gets out the back. Now to Koning. Sends it towards 50. Not the best kick. Cut off from Wilmot. He kicks towards centre half back position. Finds Starskovic. Oh, Starskovic's kick was poor. Archie made it look okay. Just took the mark at his toes. Career best game from Callum Archie tonight. In short, they just work it wide here to Wilmot. Going a little bit slow at the moment, the Lions. That's okay. They have to, they still have to go forward with this play. So Payne at half-back, being good tonight. Sends a long ball towards Oscar McInerney. He can't get there, though. Cut off by Kolajasny. How you doing, Dr. Brian? He sends the ball long. High ball towards Blitzars. Great take. That's a great contested mark from Mark Blitzars. Doesn't have a lot of options, so just wheels around on the left boot. High ball towards the pocket. Players go converge, can't get there. Great ball from Payne towards McCluggage. That was almost a throw. Play on. Hawkins in the pocket. Has a few options inside. Not the best kick. Was really ill-directed, and now McCarthy has some time. Kicks the ball short outside the defensive 50. Finds Danaher. He doesn't have any options to go to, so he's just going to hold up play. Goes down the wing. Good kick. Actually, no. Well, it was a good kick, but Charlie Cameron overran it. Now Kolajasny. Met by Cameron. Great pressure. Now Isaac Smith. Worried out of it by Berry. Just gets the ball. Free kick's been ripped out. Here we go to Isaac Smith. Brisbane fans, a little bit agitated with this play at the moment. Lions don't have to worry too much at the moment. They're not exactly being pushed too badly. It's only 3 goals. Now Bose plays on from the wing. That was poor pressure from Danaher. He sends a high ball inside the forward 50. Great mark from Leicester. Great mark in the defensive 50. He stood up that pressure and did brilliantly. Up against a really good opponent in Jeremy Cameron. He stood up to it in spades. Zorko works it inside. Great kick, finds Hipwood. The Lions can go here, but he's going slow. Eventually, Hipwood goes with the kick to McCluggage and a one-on-one in the middle of the ground. Dangerfield did nicely and breaks past the tackle of McCarthy. Now the Cats can go on the counter. To Koning off to Stewart. Now Stanley back to Stewart. Gets a couple of linking handballs and works the kick out wide. Good kick, fine Holmes. So now on the wing, outer side, Max Holmes has the football. Been a little bit quiet since quarter time. He plays on now. Sends the ball towards the forward 50. Pack of players converge. Up goes Andrews. Great spoil. Sends it into the crowd. Great work. So Hipwood's coming off the ground at the moment. I don't think they've made their sub as of yet. They've still got Kai Lohman on the bench. Thumped forward there from Stanley. Wilmot left it behind. Now close. Leaves it behind as well. It's almost a throw against Wilmot. Now Starskovic almost dove on it. Got pushed on it as well from Duncan. Be another stoppage. So they're inside their forward 50 here, the Cats. Chris Fagan not looking to impress with his team at the moment. They know what happened last week. McInerney knocks it down far as Neil. Neil gets the kick across his body. Not a vest kick. Mark O'Connor couldn't mark, but he did well there. Stanley at the back. High ball back inside the 50. Up goes Cameron. Couldn't mark it. McInerney did well. Dribbles the ball outside defensive 50. And now the Lions can go. Doesn't have many options though, Rayner. He almost gets locked down. The kick goes backwards. Chance here for the Cats to answer. Ollie Henry for 2 in a row. Not a good kick, and he misses a huge chance. So now Ashcroft in short to Payne. Looks like they're going to switch it here to Lions. Payne's kick! Oh, just holds that line. I'd want a review on that if I was a Cats player. But he took the mark, Leicester. Goes in short to Coleman. He plays on, but doesn't have many options, so he's going to have to send the ball down the wing. One-on-one is Andrews. Great mark. Great mark from the captain. Doesn't have many options, though, so it just takes a little bit of time off the clock. He works in short to Rayner. Still just the forward side of the wing here, the Lions. But they've actually got a free man inside the forward 50 in Barry. Eventually gets worked back onto. Great kick, though. He finds Dunkley at 50, who sends it to the top of the goal square. Up goes McCarthy. Good spoil there from Stengel. Got back to help his defence. Now Henry, dragged down from Cameron. Dropped it. That's gone. Wasn't paid. That was a shocking decision. I thought he dropped it. Stewart gets the kick away. Coming through was Mullen. Did well to force it forward. Now Blitzers to Atkins. The Cats are out. Here they go. Through Isaac Smith. He's done it his whole career now. These types of goals. Isaac Smith on the goal line is Jeremy Cameron. Great mark. And a chance here for the Cats to get their 4th in a row. Sorry, 3rd in a row. Jeremy Cameron to kick his 3rd. He's been out of this game for a lot of it, but when he's had his chances, he's nailed them. Tucked up in the pocket. He'll have to snap on his unpreferred right, and that's what he does. And the experience of Jeremy Cameron stands up. Cats within 11 points. Big goal for the Cats. They're right back in it. Oh, maybe that was a handball from Jack Henry, but nonetheless, Charlie Cameron has to nail that tackle. That was poor. Sorry guys, I just hit the mic there. That would have been very, very musical to your ears. But nonetheless, Back in the middle of the ground, still 10 minutes to go. Still over 10 minutes to go on this one. 11 points the difference. McInerney wins it down. Coming through was McCarthy. He couldn't win it though. Now he works it out wide. Going towards McKenna. Free kick's been ripped out here. No, but right now Will Ashcroft's getting his leg being held by himself. I don't know what's happened there, but Holmes, the great pressure here from the Lions. Danaher taps it out wide. A chance here if McCluggage can get to it to have a chance. Can't do so. Let me know your time. Need to read this thing. It just went out of bounds. 10 minutes, 16 seconds. Ashcroft has gone down. He's grabbed at his knee, and that's not good to see for the young Lions star. So right now, Will Ashcroft's in the middle of the ground being attended to by the Docs. That could be big. That's a big story right now because he has not really moved from that position. Hasn't moved. The Doctor's standing with him right now. So they still have not used their sub. Kai Lohman is the sub for the Lions. But he's right. He's down right now, Will Ashcroft, and he has not moved. Looks like the stretch has been called as well. He gets to his feet now, Will Ashcroft. That is good to see, but this is big news for the Lions' young star. Looks a little bit better at the moment. He's getting a little bit of weight through that leg. But hopefully everything's okay with Will Ashcroft. And maybe the best case scenario, maybe a little bit of a jarring of some sort. Kai Lohman is getting himself sorted out right now on the bike. He'll probably be on in a few moments. So at 50 right now, inside the Lions, forward 50, trying to win it down nicely with Zorko. He gets the kick inside the forward 50. Archie! Oh, that's a mark! Going back with the flight in a career best game, Callum Archie takes it. What a mark! Against the young Mullen, he did well with his experience there, Cal Archie. And a chance here to give the Lions a little bit of breathing space. So now Archie, a chance here to kick the Lions' 9th goal, give them back that 17-point lead. He thumps his chest and he nails the goal. Great finish. The Lions not done yet. They're still holding that lead. The Cats will still believe, but that's a telling goal there for the Lions. Yeah, time update so I can sync the stream again, your commentary. Alright, well that was a goal. It's 9 minutes 29 now. They just showed the replay of Kalachi going back with the flight, taking the mark. Kalachi, as soon as it came off the boot, was celebrating. He loved it. All good, Nathan. Appreciate you watching as well. Over in what? I think it was Ireland you said you lived in? Jesus, man. So we're back in the middle now. Lions hold a 17-point lead, but the Cats are still coming. Bounce goes down. McInerney wins it down as far as Dangerfield. Then the throw almost there from McInerney. Just gets it to Berry. Great pressure though from Atkins. He gets his handball smothered. Now Dunkley to Rayner. Works it out wide towards Fletcher. He can't mark it, but eventually steps past Atkins with ease. Did well, the young man. Even takes a bounce. Doesn't have too many options though. So he sends the long ball towards Gunston. Played for the free, didn't get it. And Spore towards the boundary line, be a stoppage. 9 minutes, 4 seconds to go. Heaps of time left. Yeah, that wasn't a free. Good decision from the umpire. So back in the middle, back in the stoppage. Stanley wins it down forward. Blitzars can't gather it. Too hot for him. Now Neal gets the handball through, but cut off there by Dangerfield. Dunkley did nicely. At 50, Jack Gunston. Spirals towards goal. Oh, I think it's touched by Charlie Cameron. Oh, I think Charlie Cameron touched that, but he's saying to Jack Gunston that his opponent did. I think that's a good option. I think that's a good little fall, but I think you touched that there, Charlie Cameron. Yeah, he did too. That was a goal. That's all good, Nate. Hopefully you're enjoying the game. Completely new to this sport. You're watching a good game, man. And next up is first versus second, Collingwood versus Port Adelaide. So that'll be a good game. All Island hurling final tonight. Oh, today. Was it a good game, man? So Ollie Henry on the wing gets the football, sends the long ball towards half forward, but great cut-off mark. Taken well there from Dunkley. In short to Leicester. Lions can take a little bit of sting out of this game. Maybe take a minute off the clock when they can. They don't have to play too slowly. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. Good mark, though. Taken by Zorko. Grabs at the head. Zorko plays on. Don't think he was that injured. He ran off pretty quickly. Heads the ball out wide. Hipwood couldn't mark and it trickles out of bounds. Just over 7.5 minutes to go. Still time here for the Cats. But a little bit of their momentum has been stalled in the past few minutes. Throws it back in the umpire. McInerney wins it down. Coming through was Berry. Did well. Now at the front of the stoppage is McCluggage. High ball inside the forward 50. Great read from Gunston. Nearly dragged it in. Great work from Guthrie. Players fighting for it in the stoppage. Coming through is Lohman, who's on the ground now. He's came on. And it looks like Will Ashcroft has been subbed out with 7.5 minutes to go. Just about 25 out from goal. Stanley wins it down, coming through his close end. Guthrie. He gets the kick outside the defensive 50. Running hard out there is Stengel. He won't get there though. Leicester just lays the boot into it. And he kicks it out on the full. Don't know about that option there from Ryan Leicester. I think you just take the possession there. But the Cats will get the ball back at half back. So now Guthrie sends the ball down the wing. One-on-one here is Jeremy Cameron. Great spoil from Leicester. Down towards Fletcher. He gives it off to Gunston, just out of his grasp. He can gather it on the bounce though. Taps it to himself. Jack Gunston. High ball towards the top of the goal square. One-on-one is Charlie Cameron. Great spoil there from Kolajasny. Now Stewart handballs it out wide towards Bowes, who sends a 40-metre handball out of the defensive 50 to really no one in particular. Hipwood did well. Tapped it towards the advantage of Wilmot. And now Hipwood, short ball inside the forward 50. Just couldn't make it there. And then out of bounds it goes. It'll be on later today. I've got to watch the Aussie footy first. Can't wait for it. Yeah, well, first second's going to be a good game. Port Adelaide versus Collingwood, but the hurling final is that like the Gaelic? Is that the Gaelic football? Is that what they call it over there? Hurling. Just outside the forward 50 for the Lions. Dangerfield coming through. Couldn't gather it. Then did nicely to work himself hard onto it. Gets the ball forward towards Myers. Tapped it well towards Duncan. He gives it in front of Close. A chance here for the Cats to get one back. Close hits inside the forward 50. Single going back. Could have marked it. Just missed it. And a free kick, though, has been ripped out. Free kick will go to Tyson Stengel. Almost got there to cut it off. There was Leicester. Just got there 1 millisecond too late, and Stengel gets the free kick. He's been very quiet tonight, Tyson Stengel. A chance here to snap home a goal and get him back within 2 goals here, the Cats. Stengel takes a deep breath. This is usually bread and butter for this man. He snaps towards goal. Beautiful! Stengel nails it. Cats still a chance. Two goals the difference. Stengel been quiet all day. Takes his moment. So right now, late changes for the other games, guys, tonight. No late changes in the Port game. Subs are Dylan Williams and Oleg Markov. And then for the Swans game tonight, the subs are Ian Stanley for Fremantle. That would be a debut. And then for the Sydney Swans is Ryan Clark. So still 6 minutes to go in this game. There's heaps of time left for the Cats. The Lions have to hold strong. McInerney wins it down. Dangerfield. Signature play, gets the clearance. Inside the forward 50, running hard as Stengel. He pushes his opponent out of the way. He gathers it just outside 50. Then sends a spiraling looking kick inside. Up go the players. Duncan couldn't gather it. Now Leicester just gets the kick away. Only about good 20 metres. Now off there is Starskovic to Wilmot. Now the kick from, I think it's McKenna, comes off the boot of the Cats player on the fall. It's a Gaelic game. Yes, it has sticks called hurls, and we use them to smack the ball called a Sleotar. Sleotar. The fastest game on grass in the world. I've heard of hurling. I've just never seen it. I'll have to look it up on Google, YouTube. So now Bose just gets dragged. It just gets taken in the tackle. It'll be a stoppage outside the forward 50. Forward side of the wing. Stanley wins it down. Coming through as Blitzers couldn't gather it. Going in hard was Dangerfield. Gets to his feet somehow. Gets the handball towards really no one in particular. McInerney. Handball was poor. Dangerfield fighting hard as always. Off to Duncan. And now Bose inside the forward 50. Short kick was poor though. Payne did nicely. Still working hard as Jack Payne did brilliantly to Lohman. But now McCluggage is under pressure. Just gets the kick out wide. Sends it towards Cameron. Play on... He doesn't have many options on his right, so works back on his left. Holmes' kick was about 4 metres. Gives off the handball to Bose, the new recruit. Sends it towards the top of the goal square. Great body there from Archie. Gives it off towards McKenna. Just gets away the Gaelic player. The kick in short on the bounce gets to Berry. And he kicks it in short to Danaher. Time left. 4 minutes, 35 seconds now. Yeah, much improved in the second half, isn't it? Suddenly Geelong came to play and the game's good. So Danaher takes the mark at half-back. He sends a high, slow ball towards the wing. Up goes McInerney, couldn't mark. Now Gunston dragged down from Guthrie. Another stoppage. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Heaps of time left for the Cats. But they have to get one pretty quick. The Lions will be nervous after last week. McInerney wins it down. Dunkley dragged the ground there from Stanley. Still got the hands free somehow. And Berry's kick was poor, cut off by Stewart. He looks immediately in the middle of the ground. Doesn't have many options. So he just sends it into the middle of the ground, makes his teammates run for it. Holmes on the bounce did nicely. Sprinting towards 50. Kicks it inside, just had too much on it. Hawkins working hard into the pocket, goes out of bounds. In that pocket for the Cats. They're running all over the ground at the moment, Geelong. Just need a little bit more composure, that kick there from Max Holmes. He just put too much on it. But they're inside their forward 50. Most dangerous place on the ground here for the Cats. They throw it back inside. Tapped out and then to himself was McInerney. Neal dragged down from Stengel. Left it behind. Now Blitzars couldn't get it away. Neal did nicely to Dunkley. He sends a high ball just outside the defensive 50. Great read from O'Connor. Cuts it off. So O'Connor just outside the forward 50 here for the Cats. Doesn't have many options. Lions have flooded the defensive 50. So 3 minutes and 30 seconds. He's just going to run the perimeter. Goes in short. Finds Duncan. He's just outside 50 as well. He gives it off towards Guthrie, who sends it inside the forward 50. Cut off well there from Archie. If you get a chance to watch the final game, you'll never see anything like it. It's on in like 5 hours' time. Don't know if that's the middle of the night for you, though. 5 hours. It'll be about 11 o'clock. I'll keep an eye on it. So now Archie sends a high ball towards Gunston. Can't mark. McCarthy did well to break past Dangerfield in short. Dangerous kick. Great work there from Bose to cause the pressure in the drop mark. Now Myers just gets the handball away. Blitzars can't get it free. Now Cameron slowly towards McCarthy, who sends it down the wing to a one-on-one. Danaher and Guthrie. Danaher just left it behind. He had to take that mark. He's working hard to get onto it, but Guthrie worried him out of it nicely. Stewart towards Kolajasny. 2.5 minutes to go. The Cats are running under the clock now. He sends a long ball down the wing and... So they've called the ball back towards the defensive 50. It will be in the Cats' hands, but because the play was on the ground, they had to call it back. I don't know about that, but anyway. Blitzers in the middle of the ground now. It has the football. Handball over the top. Atkins was dangerous. And Dunkley drags him to ground. And he's pinned holding the footy. That could be done for the Cats. Lions may well have won it off the tackle of Dunkley. That was probably their biggest chance, but Tom Atkins got dragged to ground by a brilliant tackle from Dunkley. With 2 minutes to go, can the Lions hold up? Wilmot heads out wide, just inbounds there with Zorko. Would you rather go for Brisbane or Geelong? I want Brisbane to win this because Sydney can make the finals if the Cats were to fall out, even though I don't think they can. But, yeah, that's just me. Handballing out wide, coming through as Cameron did well to get the hands free. Out towards McCluggage, eventually gathers it. And a free kick has been ripped out. No, he's happy to see it out of bounds there, Hugh McCluggage. Minute and a half to go. There's still time here for the Cats, but they have to get one in the next few moments. Oh, he threw it. Wasn't that? Oh, no, I guess he just got it away. I don't know about that, but anyway. Just at the forward 50 here for the Brisbane Lions. McInerney winning it down. McCluggage did okay. Great smother, though, from Atkins. Runs towards the boundary. Dangerfield keeps it in. Does well. Blitzars over the top of his shoulder. Sends a high ball towards close. Great mark. The Cats need one, and they need one now. He plays on down the wing. The kick towards forward 50 is a great option. Jeremy Cameron takes the mark. Harris Andrews, slow to get off the mark. Jeremy Cameron for 50. Goes towards goal. And that may be job done. He's just missed it. That was the opportunity, and he's missed to the left. So, taking it just inside the defensive 50 is Dane Zorko. Just trickles under a minute now the time. Goes in short. Dane Zorko just gets it into Lachie Neale. Free kick's been ripped out here, gone to the Cats for some reason. Jeremy Cameron calls for the handball, and I don't know about that option. Gets it smothered outside stoppage here for the Cats. So a chance here for the Cats. There's 44 seconds to go. Can they get a goal from this stoppage? Zorko goes to ground, couldn't gather it. Tom Hawkins taps it out towards McCarthy, who handballs it out towards McCluggage and Neale. Neale gathers it. Gives a handball underground towards Lohman, the young man in his 5th game. Came on as the sub, full of running. Sends the ball down the wing to a one-on-one. It's a great kick towards Danaher. Free kick's been ripped out, and it's going to go to Big Joe. So the Lions are going to do enough to hold on tonight. Outside 50 is Big Joe. He should just call for the 30 seconds to take this shot. So with 20 seconds to go, the time will run out here for the Cats. The Lions have done well to hold strong this afternoon. So Joe Danaher. Seconds remaining. A chance here to kick a late one. Danaher sends a high ball towards goal. But they won't care, the Lions. They win a big one at the Gabba. And they give their top 2 chances a real shake with a massive win against the Cats. They came home strong, the Cats. But their first half was their downfall. At the end of this one, guys, the Lions win 9-10-64 to the Cats, 7-11-53. A great win from the Brisbane Lions this afternoon. Probably a bit of a slow one in the first half, but they held strong in the second half, the Lions. And they give a real chance towards that top 2 positioning. If they can get that top 2 position in the finals, get a home final, there'll be a real chance this season. But that's all for the stream tonight, guys. Thanks for watching today. Podcast will be out probably Tuesday morning. If you guys want to watch that, hopefully you do. Right now, the live ladder reads that the Brisbane Lions are in 3rd spot with 130%, and the Cats are in 6th still, as they were last week, but with teams still to play this round, a real chance of falling down a few more positions here, the Cats. But they should be okay. They've got a couple more home games. They'll be fine. But thanks for watching today, guys. And like I said, the podcast should be out on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, but that's all from us. So